Seth Show. After we talk about the afro that my producer has, Jay. Wonderful. Once again, the fake audience. Limited seating out there. I'm waiting for the call from like Roadcast at the place that I bought the little board from, and they're like, "Yeah, you can't keep using that. Like this copyright." And you know what I mean? Finally, on the Good Times with Goodney, deep in the basement of 70 James Street, here in the wonderful southern western side, Southwest Worcester. I finally got her on the show because she loves what I love as well, which is wine. Every time I walk around the club, I've got a glass of wine. People ask me, what is that wine? It's clear what it is when it's in a small glass or a chalice, whatever you have, and it's purple. I don't understand why people always ask me, what are you drinking? What the fuck else could it be? But anyway, please let me, no further ado, please welcome my guest, Miss Missa Capozzo. Missa. Owner and proprietor of Wine Down Events.
Yes.
Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful thing that has been for me. I've gone to many, many events.
You are VIP status.
I haven't gotten my card yet. I have not gotten my card yet. I am going to push this microphone, though, or have you pull it closer to you. All right, just a little bit. You're James Dorsey in me right now. And that is you can lean back, but you just want the microphone closer up to. A lot of people, they don't understand the concept of a microphone. I know you were worried because you are a projectionist. I've been in rooms where you have scared the ever-loving shit out of me just by going, all right, now we're going to get back to tasting wines.
I have to. After 3 wines, I've lost the crowd.
Oh, God, yeah, there's some, they get rambunctious.
Ooh, yeah.
And
yeah.
And they look at you see it on their face, and they're like, ha.
Yeah, I lose them. But
they have to keep, I noticed that sometimes the sample sizes get a little smaller.
They actually do.
Yes. Yeah, well, I think it's great because the ones I go to all the time for you are at Broken Creek out in Shrewsbury.
Mm-hmm.
Love it out there. I ate off the vines. Okay?
Yes, you were there for that.
Signed up for that shit too. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. But all of them there, it's a very intimate room. A lot of people all the time. It always seems to be sold out. If I don't get my tickets, I've been shut outside, people. I'm telling you right now, you think just because you have them on the podcast, they don't give a shit. Give a shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Nonsense. I get you in.
You'd have me standing in the back in the corner. I'd look like Baby and Dirty D's. Like,
you always have a spot.
But I noticed that you've gone down to, they have a perfect size pour so that you can do the sample, because when we've done it before, when we were trying to do them at Rascals, we were just pouring from the bottle. People were sauced.
Yeah. Well, because they would hang out here afterwards and just keep drinking.
Sauced.
Yeah.
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 Well, you get that's it. That's the PTA club. I love those women. You bring them out and drink and have a good time.
Nurses and teachers are my best attendees.
You're talking to a line dance instructor. So let me tell you
So
something.
you know.
Nurses and teachers, they have, you know what? Not for nothing. They do have the most to get over. And a lot of things, they should get out there and do as many fun things as they can, because their lives are so tough.
They're tough.
Yeah.
They have hard jobs. They need to unwind, relax.
I've dated both, and I'll tell you right now, they just look at me and they're like, oh, I fucking can't stand you. You dance for a living.
Are you sure it's just the teachers and nurses that say that?
Well, like, this is the ones that have told me. But they're like, you just have a nice job. You dance for a living. You have no idea what I feel like I'm being yelled at again like when I was a kid. You have no idea what the real world is like. And you're right, but I don't function well in the real world, to be quite honest.
I don't either. That's why I do what I do.
The getting up at a certain time in the morning, it just pisses me off. It doesn't matter if I get up on that time on my own.
Yeah. You're just not a morning guy.
I'm just pissed. No, I'm just mad someone else is telling me I got to.
Yeah, I get it.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I'm the same way. I can't work for someone else. I never could.
Get there when I get there.
Never.
Be happy that I'm there.
That's right. That's right. You got to call the shots. Yeah. Some people live best that way, though. Some people need that structure.
Yes.
They don't have that self-motivation. They don't have that self-discipline.
I'd get so much more done if I had structure. Yeah. You really have me just wandering through the woods with scissors in my hand, really. That's kind of what's happening all the time. Like, all of a sudden, even Frank, he says to me, he goes, what are you doing down the hall? I'm like, oh, I'm building a podcast studio. He goes, why, you think people listen to your podcast? I go, I don't care. I'm going to do a podcast. I don't give a shit if anybody listens to it.
If you build they will come.
Well, I mean, once again, I said to him, how many people are going to listen to my podcast if I don't have one?
That's
Zero.
Right, zero.
So... like The Office, the part of The Office where you miss 100% of the shots you don't take Wayne Gretzky, Michael Scott.
Michael Scott.
Have you ever watched The Office?
Yeah, I
All right.
have. Yeah.
I've thrown people off the podcast for not knowing what I was talking. No, I'm just kidding. I would never.
No, we bonded over Seinfeld last week.
Seinfeld's a huge. I still every night, like I'll go home and just watch an episode just before bed because it's mindless.
It's the best. It's classic comedy.
Which
That
one's your favorite?
apparently is offensive.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
I bet you money.
That's what makes it great.
I want to. So I think the offensive level of people, though, I think it's a small window. I think it's like 35 and younger to about 22 right now. I think that the kids 22 and younger, I think they're gonna be little fucking hellions. I think they're coming back worse than we were. You're gonna hear retard and you have all the F words that you never wanted to hear. I'm even afraid to say some of it now. It's like I learned how to do it in sign language because I was just afraid to get in trouble on somebody. Like, you can't say that. All right. Well, what's that? Learn it. I'm like, all right, you don't care. Seriously, though, people, we went down a really, really slippery slope with wokeness.
It's, yeah.
I heard it compared to a religion.
Oh, it's cultish. It's absolutely cultish. Yeah.
Right, because you could want to feel repent. Like, you could say something stupid and they hate you, and the next thing you know, you're like, well, I repent. No.
I just don't understand where it came from. I mean, our generation, we grew up with what? Al Bundy and...
Right, if that didn't actually pose... When you watched... See, here's what was funny. When you watched Roseanne, when you watched Al Bundy, when you watched those, you didn't look at those and go, wow, those people are really weird. You're like, no, that's my family.
Absolutely.
What was weird was watching, like, the Leave It to Beavers.
Or the Waltons.
The Family Ties. What was that movie there, that show? Loved it all the time. Kirk Cameron and...
Oh, yeah. What was that? That was a...
It's funny how you don't remember that one, but you remember Family Matters with Urkel.
Oh, come on. You got to remember Urkel.
He was a hero.
He was fabulous.
He was a fucking hero. When you saw him, you're like, if that guy can get laid, any one of us can get it right there. You know what I mean? Because he was adorably dorky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to love the adorable dork.
Right. And he's probably, why am I in the friend zone?
With his
Pants up in there. And the guy, and I'll never forget, because every time I watched him, like, so that guy was the cop from Die Hard. And so... And like no one would understand what I was talking about. I'm like, watch Die Hard. Like that's how we got. This is a spinoff from Die Hard. This is his family.
That's a stretch.
It is, isn't it? Is it not though? He was a cop in Die Hard, and then he's a cop in that show, and then But no, the other one is. It's very unfortunate it's not back on because I guess everything that he went through was the Cosby Show. I thought the Cosby Show was great.
It was great.
I mean, once again, he was one of 100 characters, but we canceled it. I don't see it anywhere. I can't find it anywhere.
No, that's canceled.
Why though? Because of him? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not saying what he did was wrong, but there's still
right.
There's still clips of O.J. Simpson running footballs.
It's not being broadcast in syndication.
Well, not during this show. Well, I don't know. They're still gonna have Jay-Z at the halftime. They might as well.
I am waiting for that.
Has it not all unraveled?
It's unraveling in front of our eyes.
Listen, it's the holidays. If you haven't already gotten the conspiracy theorist person in your family gift yet, you can give them the gift of an apology. I really do think there's a lot of you out there that gave your fucking kooky Uncle Al with his tinfoil hat a lot of shit for a few years back. And not for nothing, he's sitting back going, how's that vax going? Because he could say it. He could say it right now. The people with tinfoil hats back in 2019, 2020 right now are going, fucking told you, man.
All day long.
It's crazy. And it doesn't get any better every day. It's like now you get UFOs over fucking New Jersey.
And in Sutton.
Listen, here's what I'm going to say. If the interstellar community decides that they're going to come down and they're going to decide how humanity exists and they do it through New Jersey, we're fucked. They're
going to hop back in their planes
and
head on back home.
There's no intelligent life down there. Honestly, got Jersey Shore's back out there. Snooki and Jay wowing them.
Did you see the meme with Chris Christie and his McDonald's and all?
He's just getting the McDonald's airdropped because they're trying something. That wouldn't surprise me if it was like Amazon just trying to fucking do deliveries.
I thought of that.
Amazon's
actually.
like, we're sorry. We just didn't want to tell you people during the day. Well, you put lights on them, asshole. Now nobody can see what they are.
Blinking. Yeah. Yeah.
I think at this point, we should all just stay very close to one another because our last final minutes could be
Any
anytime.
moment now.
Right. And shit could break off. And you're going to be like, you know what? I always wanted to tell that one girl I liked her. Like, shit, I'm not going to make it. The nuke. Damn it. There's a mushroom cloud. My 5Gs are all fucked. I can't get
It's weird.
trying to sound like, damn it. The glow from that nuke is fucking up the camera. I just wanted to say I love you. Thought we'd make it.
Thought I had more time.
I'm sorry. I waited. I just wanted to be secure in business before I told you. It's crazy. It's crazy, but what do you do? Like, what do you do? You're already fucked. It's and then there's those people that have prepped that have gotten. We talked a little bit about that. I told you I got a bucket. It says it's gonna last me 60 days. I think I'm gonna open that bucket. It's 2 middle fingers going. Thanks for your purchase, idiot. It's fucking horse feathers.
Saw it myself.
Yeah.
I had an ex who was a total doomsday prepper. He had everything.
You wonder if every day they don't just sit there and go, I may look like a moron now, but who's gonna be the moron soon?
Like we are
And
now.
once again, and then when the time comes and they get to say I was right, the only people they're gonna be able to say I was right to are the other people. Right.
Yeah.
Like I was telling them, I know I was telling them too. They thought I was crazy. Yeah, they didn't come to my house for six Christmases. 6 Christmases they didn't come up. Never showed up. Fucking thought I was an asshole.
But they have their ready.
Well, Uncle Larry, it did take 65 years before what you said was going to happen. You were saying like Tuesday, make flapjacks because by Wednesday we're gone. Oh God, where'd you grow up?
West Boylston.
West Boylston girl, huh? Mm-hmm. Yep.
Small town.
Graduation class of how many?
93.
I wasn't going to ask you years. I wasn't going to ask you.
I don't mind. Class of 93. There was 50 maybe in my graduating class.
50?
Yeah.
That's an intimate class.
If that, yeah.
So when you have a class reunion, do you all still get together or no?
The last class reunion we had, 20 years maybe.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do a 30. But yeah, everybody came. We have our own little Facebook page.
That's
we
great.
All keep in touch.
So we had a 30th.
Yeah.
Fucking fell apart.
Did it really?
Yeah, and it's crazy because I had the best band here for it.
It was here?
It was, I don't know. Sometimes I rub people the wrong way, I think.
No, there's no way that
I know
happens.
what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. I don't understand it myself. But in certain circles, I don't get it. And what happened was it was this year. It was going to be done. We talked about doing it. There's people all on board like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I think that's just it. I think people just talk. See, I want to do it because, I enjoy life. You know what I mean? That's why I want to see.
Guy, yeah.
I want to see all these other people and be like, because when they knew me, I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
Like I graduated
yeah.
high school with 2 children now. So they're looking at me now. They're like, Jesus Christ, you talk about Benjamin Buttons out there. I did, and that's what happened. It was crazy back then. I was the only. I think I was a junior or a sophomore with an apartment. High school. Weekend responsibilities. Like, what are you doing this weekend? Because I got 3 jobs.
Yeah, that didn't happen in West Boylston.
Well, they would get him out of town real quick.
We were a very small town.
Spencer was fine with it. Spencer was used to it.
Care.
Spencer was used to it. They're like, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
you know what it is? I think now, we don't really have reunions anymore because we all keep in touch on Facebook. We all know what the other's doing.
Well, there was only 50 of you.
Yeah, and there's only 50 of us, right? If
Of the
that,
50,
there might have
50
not
of you, though, all right? How many of you got kind of kooky over the elections? Because ours got kooky. I got a few of mine got kooky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
It was a slippery slope, dude.
there's some, yeah. It's
People
funny.
go nutty.
It's funny. I have to step back and just observe on social media.
I always say, I just don't know.
I can't say anything because it affects my business. I have to
You'd
just.
love to, though, wouldn't you? Sometimes you just want to go, you fuck.
Yeah, well, in my head, yeah, the thoughts are there, but I can't say a word.
Nope.
If I want to be successful in business, I don't want to alienate half my audience. And I see other small business owners do this, and I'm just, big mistake. Don't do it.
I think it has its pros and its cons. I think sometimes you do it, and all of a sudden people come and support you because you did do it.
Right,
Because
but in
you're
the same
butting
token,
it.
you're losing that other half. And quite frankly, I'm not willing to do that.
You never know what that other side is.
But
because it's funny. You could just say the simplest thing. You're like, I started with a Trump poster. She had a Trump button on. And you're like, what? I didn't have a Trump button on. And next thing you know, they're like, yep, there you go. Well, that's it. Well, there you go.
Cancel culture is so bad now. It's to the point where if you just like a post from someone on the opposite side, you'll get called out and canceled. You can't even like someone's post. Never mind post your own things. You gotta be careful.
Do you think that stays?
I hope not.
I think it's gone.
I hope not.
I think it's ready.
It's ridiculous.
I think it's like a piece of paper already burning from all sides on the outside. Magic trick.
I think people have just had enough. It's exhausting.
When you have to constantly tiptoe around things, and the rules always change, and the people who give you who you're hoping for forgiveness from are some of the most vile fucking people.
Yeah.
Like the things they will say and the things they will do once you're on the outside of their belief system.
Oh, it's terrible. It's
Most of my friends, I mean, as conservatives as we may be, and I would say I'm more in the middle than when it comes to that stuff. But like every time I've ever had a conversation with a conservative will go like, well, you know, and it can get heated. On the left, I get insulted out of the gate like I'm just stupid. I had to have this conversation with somebody before about about education themselves. They're like, well, you barely graduated high school. I said, you mastered the ability of regurgitating information that was given to you in textbooks. I said, I don't think we understand each other. I go, listen, I'm not saying I'm smart or I'm stupid. I'm just saying all you were really good at was letting people give you shit and you telling them exactly the shit they gave you.
It's true.
You never question any of it. And at some point you go through life and you think you're smarter than other people because I comprehended what they told me they wanted me to know. And I mean, now you're looking back at it and you're saying, well, guess what? Half of that shit, a lot of that shit, and you're already erasing it.
There's no critical thinking anymore. That's the problem.
I don't think
no one's taught to think critically.
You cannot say that you want the United States of America to be the greatest country in the world and look at our education system and be, yep, we're on track.
That's for sure.
We're fucking on track.
Yeah.
We pay those people shit. They deal with more shit than you can. Oh my God. Once again, you have friends and I have friends, and you just hear their stories, and you're like, okay, you got what do you got in your class? You got 25 kids in your class. 3 of them don't speak a lick of fucking English and don't have translators. If that's just 3, and how do you teach that?
I can't imagine.
That's like 45 of me's in one class. I'm a nightmare. I knew I was a nightmare back in class.
I can't even fathom your poor teachers.
Every one of them. Well, no, some of them, the ones that got me, that could talk to me and understand me, I remember Mrs. Berthew, my biology teacher. She sat me down. She goes, listen, I know that you want this to be your stage. She goes, but it's not. It's my stage. And she goes, and I'll do my best to educate you. And sometimes it's boring, Christopher, but it's going to be my stage. Because that was it. If I got in your class and I thought you were just boring the fuck out of me, I couldn't do it. I could pass. All my classes, I was fine in. I didn't, homework, that's the only thing I get in trouble for. And because then they thought I just cheated on everything else, and I didn't cheat. I just knew it. I'm like, okay, this is all right. Yeah. What do you think we're doing here? Honest to God, I need 6 weeks to conjugate verbs. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Conjugate verbs.
I took Latin. You know, my buddy Chuck, I'm surprised he didn't tell it on the class. I took a Latin class, and so first of all, I failed 2 years of Spanish. Como se llamos? And funny story, I actually saved the teacher's life. Yeah, she had a seizure, middle of class, right? She flopping around like a fucking fish out of water on the floor, right? All the kids in the class go into a corner. Like literally, they
Oh my
all
God.
went to a corner. I go, like, what the fuck? So I pick up the phone, called they're like, yes. I'm like, yeah, this is Chris Goodney calling from, they're like, Chris, get off the intercom phone. You can't hear. I'm like, no, Mrs. Power, she's flopping around. Right now, someone put her on board. She shouldn't be on. She's having a problem. Yeah, we'll be right up. Thank you, Chris. And save a woman's life. Yeah, fucking fail me.
No, she failed
Fail
you.
me. Fail me. I think she was afraid I'd be walking around Spanish neighborhoods getting the shit beat out of me.
Oh my God.
So that was it. So I took a Latin class because, of course, that's easier.
Oh yeah.
And anyway, so the teacher in there one day, he's giving me shit, and I'm sitting in the back of the room, and and I don't know how it came to be. I said, I'm going to tell you what. I said, if I can hit you in the middle of your forehead from here with this pencil, I said, you have to give me an A for the rest of the year. And he goes, if you can hit me, he goes, yep. fucking dead center if I didn't hit it. I went, well, I guess if that'll be all, then I'm going to head outside. So I had A's in Latin, everything else C's, a couple of mixed B's in there and like phys ed.
Just wanted to get you out.
He's just like, fuck this. I think he might have moved his head now that you mention it. Just so bad. Yeah, school was not my
Not
thing.
your thing.
So, where did you go to school after high school?
Worcester State.
Yeah. What'd you go to school for?
I started exercise physiology. I ended up, because I was a trainer, and I finished with a major in communications and a minor in art. At that point, I wanted to do graphic design, which I did, freelance for a little while. And this
How was that field?
it was different back then, right? Because
When was
this
that?
was 2002. I
Okay.
graduated, so it's not what it is today. You know, Photoshop was brand new. It was, it was
I
fun.
worked in
I
an
loved it.
embroidery company doing like designs and stuff like that. Yeah,
Yep.
all around that stuff.
I enjoyed it
It's fun.
tremendously, and I was freelancing. I was working for myself. It was great, but I went back to training. I went back to fitness. Yeah,
Have you ever had like a regular 9 to 5 cubicle job?
I have.
A cubicle job.
Uh-huh.
Cubicle.
Yeah, yes.
Because those are tough.
Within 2 or 3 months, they promoted me to office manager out of my cubicle.
I used to get promoted pretty quick too in those, and then I'd end up getting fired because HR would have to get involved.
Oh, I laugh. I get bored. It's not for me. 9 to 5 is not for me. I am not meant to be 40 hours a week
No,
doing
the coffee break. The
anything.
coffee break to go sit at the water cooler and talk shit about everybody till they show up. Like, shut up, here she comes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not
can't.
me.
No,
It's
I'd rather just talk shit about you when you're here. I'm not waiting for a water cooler. You know what I mean, fuck that.
Yeah, that didn't last long. Maybe
No.
6 months of my life. Yep.
Favorite job other than what you're doing now?
When I owned my studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That was that's what I did right before this.
Was that like family type stuff? Like you just had people that had coming to see you all the time?
No, it was mostly women. So it was fitness,
Yeah.
right? So it was a personal training studio, Pilates, all small group acts, boot camps, cardio kickboxing, you name it. I loved it, but it was mostly women. I did have a handful of men, but it became family like. Like everybody, they came to me because the big box gyms intimidated them. They didn't like it, made them uncomfortable. So they came to me, and it was like a very new, like a small family, a new set of friends. It was really amazing.
It can be when that
Yeah,
stuff
it was
that stuff happens.
fabulous.
When you own different little things like that.
Yep. Yep. I miss it a lot.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
what brought about that demise?
I broke my neck.
That'll fucking do it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was throwing Angie, my best friend, a birthday party on Lake Lashaway in East Brookfield. Much wine involved. Much wine
Mucho.
involved. Yeah.
Mucho vino.
And then in the evening, around 6 p.m.-ish, I went out on the boat and dove off. And I hit my head on the bottom of the lake. And I broke my C1 in 4 places, which is actually the exact same.
Don't say Christopher Reeve.
Yes, Christopher Reeve.
I was afraid that was what you were going to say to
Yep.
me, yeah.
And I shattered my C2.
Jesus Christ.
Yep. And being who I am, they wheel me into the ER. And I'm all doped up at this point. And I look at the doctor, said, when can I get back to work? I have a gym to run. And she looked at me and she said, we don't know if you're ever going to walk again.
Honey.
You slow your roll. You may never walk again. I said, it's not an option. That's not happening.
It's probably because you felt that way that you got through those
A lot
first
of mind
few days.
over matter. Yeah, a lot of mind over matter. So I was in a halo. They bolted a halo into my skull.
What year is this?
2010. Yep. And it was during that recovery. It's when I did a lot of thinking. And I loved my job. I loved my studio. But it was hard on my body. I was injuring myself all the time. And I didn't want to do it for the rest of my life. It was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When you own a brick and mortar, it's 24/7, even though you're not there 24/7. It's just constant stress.
It depends. Yeah. So my biggest thing is like I want to be able to do what I do, but have it not require my exact energy.
Right.
So like for you, if it was if you could find a few people like you and blah, 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 and then they go. The studio's going, you get a couple dozen of them going, and then you're sitting out on the beach.
Then you sit back, right?
Yeah.
And I had some
Oh,
great
Cabana
girls.
boy.
Yeah. I had great employees. I had great girls working for me. But I
You were
opened
the
this
draw.
business because I wanted to do it. I wanted to train people. I wanted to change their lives. It was the running the business part I didn't want to do. You know, the accounting and the numbers, and
And the
sucked.
permits.
Oh, it sucked the
And the
life out of me.
licenses.
It really took the joy out of it.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
So I decided, all right, when I was, had my broken neck, I decided I'm going to close. I don't know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be something that'll never feel like a day of work in my life, ever. It'll be fun. It'll be social. It'll pay really well.
So that one move that you talk about right there, that one right there, that is what stops, I would say, 95% of people.
100%.
That conversation right there goes to, I need something stable.
Yeah.
And if you answer that question with, I need something stable, you're not doing what you and I are doing right now.
Absolutely not.
On a Monday night, you know what you're doing? And God bless you, too, and I hope you're tuning in. And if you don't, hit the subscribe button because you're home on a Monday night. But I always say, I mean, life's full of people who never chase their dreams.
Yeah.
Less than 10% of people will I think it's less than that. I'm pulling that number out of behind the light over here. But I do. I talk to people all the time, and you watch them, and you just tell them that they're not happy, they're not happy, they're not happy. And you're like, who do you think is responsible for your happiness?
You got to find the courage to do what you want to do.
It sucks. There is
it's
a point,
scary.
and there is absolutely no doubt. There's that moment that you go through the looking glass where you start going, should I have fucking done this? Mm-hmm. Like, I don't see anything coming in my future. At some point, you are looking into an abyss of that you have no idea where it's going.
It's terrifying.
It is.
It is.
Absolutely.
It's terrifying.
But I think you also get to the point where you're like, okay, it's even like if you just jumped out of a plane. You know eventually there's going to be a ground. You're going to hit.
Right.
There's going to be a ground. So you just, that's it. You're like, I'm not dead. I'm not dying. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm just going to keep going. It does, because I've had many, many people, and I'm sure you have as well, that have, taken that other route, which is I can't handle this anymore, and they opt out of it, leaving behind a trail of people in devastation and stuff like that. And it's just those conversations, they're hard conversations, but if you're at home every night watching Netflix and you're never having this conversation with yourself, you're not doing yourself any favors.
Well, look, people are going through the matrix. That's what they're doing. They're going to their matrix jobs because that's what they're told. They were brought up being told that's what you got to do. Go get your college degree. Go get a 9-to-5 paying well. Go pay your mortgage. Go get married. Go have 6 kids.
Well, there's no way to plug you in, no better way to plug you in than to put you into debt.
Yeah.
That you feel you need to pay back.
100, yes.
Yeah. I lost that feeling a long time ago.
Yeah, well,
that feeling of needing to pay their debt.
Life for me.
Finger Hut may send a sniper after me.
Finger Hut.
I'm surprised they haven't tried to off me.
Do you still owe your penny for all those cassette tapes?
The Columbia House. Yeah. I might fucking Finger Hut. I bought a fucking pan set. It cost, VCR. It cost me $7,000 at this point. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus Christ. I looked at it was a while ago. They like, did you have a problem of dispute with Finger Hut? I go, are they still around? They're like an old uncle I thought was dead looking for money back. Like, people, I don't know. It was a VCR. I needed a Barney tape. I fucking threw it out. You're not getting $7,000 from me for it. I don't care who your lawyers are.
Give up the dream, Finger Hut.
But that was it. You go buy a car.
Yeah.
You get a college education. I'm wicked smart now.
We're just programmed that this is what we're supposed to do. And I saw at a very young age, that was not me.
Yeah.
I didn't fall for the program. I never did.
I think I would have fallen for the program only because I would have just wanted to go and party.
Yeah.
I would have spent a lot of money on partying, I think.
In college?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My personality's a shit show.
I didn't even go to college until much later. I took several years to figure out what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go. I moved to Louisiana for a little while and Florida for a little bit.
Louisiana.
My mom lives down there.
That was nice. I had a little sunbelt on. I can't do a Louisiana accent.
Please don't try. Please don't try.
Shut up. I'll have one by next time.
Don't.
I feel bad now. I wish I had known. I would have a little gumbo.
Actually lived twice. I went there twice. Once we moved with my mom when she got remarried in 93. And then I went back, a few years later to New Orleans. And the whole plan was I'm going to go to UNO. I'm going to get my degree. Yeah. In New Orleans? Yeah, no. That wasn't happening. It was a complete shit show. It was just debauchery.
Yeah.
And I knew
because you could pass for a little Southern Belle down there, and you must have been, oh God.
I had to come back.
You had to.
If I wanted to not go down the
Live.
wrong road,
Right.
if I wanted to live and be successful, I had to come back.
So in the multiverse, what is that girl who didn't make the right decisions doing now?
I don't want to know. I don't.
He's on an island with a steen at the end, doing things just to get. But no,
I don't want to know.
no, I think you're always smart enough than that.
You just know. I just knew. I
Yeah.
had fun, but
Yeah.
it was too much fun, and it wouldn't be good.
Once again, we have friends that just don't know when to get off the train.
Yeah.
Guys, get off the train.
Yeah.
We take from here now. We're taking a bus.
Yeah.
From the bus, we're gonna take a car. From the car, it's gonna be a stroll. I'm somewhere between bus and car right now.
Bus and car.
Bus and car right now. Yep. I think I'm gonna spend a lot of time in the car though. I mean, that's my deal.
Car's not terrible.
But the train, yeah, I can't do the train no more. I do it in a sense that I'm there the hours, but all right, I didn't want to lie to you. I thought I was gonna say like I've pulled back the drinking and stuff, but no, I can't say that. I went a couple weeks ago. Stopped. I was just like, yeah, that's it, done. So let's see how long I can go. So I stopped for like 2 weeks.
I was going to ask you, 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks, yeah. And then so that's to me, I was
That's
like
not bad.
victory. I'm
That's
like,
a start.
I'm still in control of this shit.
Well, I had no idea I was going to be able to make it 12 weeks last year. Remember when I did
Yeah.
that 12 weeks sober, January to my birthday? Thought it was going to be really hard. It wasn't. It wasn't hard at all.
Did you isolate yourself?
Very much so.
Okay.
Very much so.
That's what I
Yeah.
find. I find that if I'm going to do it, I have to do it isolated. Even though I have it all there, I think that the way it kicked off was I had like the first 4 days I didn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Well, it worked for me. Yes, I isolated a lot, but I'm glad I did because it gave me a lot of sober thinking, a lot of time to go inward and kind of figure out what's going on in here, what I really want. I had no time to be clouded with alcohol
no.
and other people even, went very isolated. But then once I started coming back and I still wasn't really drinking, I observed everybody else. And I realized I don't want to be that. And that was a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I come up to you,
Oh, I'm used to you. You're fine.
Missa, this is the best place I've ever been.
You're like that sober.
I am actually.
There's no difference.
I was actually walking through Shaw's and I was singing Christmas carols earlier today, and some woman goes, "You like this all the time?" I go, sometimes I'm drunk." And she just kind of looked at me and laughed, and I'm like, "Okay." And it's true. I was
It's
just
so
like,
true.
I don't care. I'm in my own world. I have my own conversations. Like seriously, I'm one conversation with someone with a doctorate. I'm gonna be in a jacket, and they're not gonna let me out anymore. And this wonderful mind is gonna be wasted away.
You
in
just say a
some-
lot of what people are thinking, but don't have the guts to say. out loud.
There was a long time ago I realized that filter, it's open.
Yeah.
You ever had your toilet just continue to run?
Yeah, that's it.
There you go. That's the analogy you need to understand.
keeps going.
My head is like somebody. Every once in a while, people like try. If you tap the
Make it
the
stop.
flusher, if you tap the flusher, the flapper will go back down. But nope, this thing's just broken open, just constantly pouring out. If I think it, I say it. I say some of the stupidest things too. And then if I think it's funny, it's even worse. Because now I actually will say something, and if I think I'll laugh. I don't even care if anybody else laughs. So stupid.
You're having fun. It doesn't matter.
No, you say that, but you say it. Some people don't like it.
Well,
People don't like it. Yeah. You ever seen
lost.
people who are just so unhappy that if they see you
Yes.
happy, they're like fucking. They're
oh
like,
my God, you can see the
Fuck
disdain
you.
in their eyes. They're
you,
like,
you do things. You do things for the public. Anytime you do things for the public, you can tell. There's times I'm teaching dance, and I can see people are just like, I fucking don't want to learn to dance, and I hate you and your cherry disposition. You fuck. Like,
I honestly look at people like that, like a challenge, especially when I'm
love that.
when I'm teaching.
oh, come on.
Yeah.
I'd be like, come on. Show me your bum.
I'm like, oh, we got a live one over here.
Wiggle your bum.
I'm gonna break them down.
Yeah.
And I do.
You can.
I do. I
They
make them.
need it.
They need
They need more
it.
than anybody else.
Yeah.
They get such sticks up their asses that they are so mad that when they see fun, they get pissed.
My thought always is, what happened to you to make you this miserable? Like, I feel bad
Well,
for
we've
people
been
like
out
that.
there. It's not like you haven't been out there. It's not like you don't know what makes people fucked. You just go, back up. Oh, yeah, married. Okay, yeah. There's like a checklist.
One.
There's a checklist. Bankruptcy, check.
Bad kids.
Bad kids, check. Bad step kids, double check. You know what I mean? And when you start looking down, you look at that list, you go, oh, Well, actually, I should be a lot more fucked up than this. If you look at my checklist, I've survived a lot of shit. Oh, there's nothing better. There's nothing better than looking back going, what the fuck was I thinking? Whether it was a person or a job or a car or a drug.
But it's all necessary.
It is.
Like, I look back on all of that stuff. It's all necessary. I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today if I didn't go through everything bad, you know?
It's like a painting.
Yeah.
A painting that only uses a few colors is pretty dull.
Absolutely.
Let's throw some fucking chartreuse in there. Let's go.
I feel like I've lived 10 lives. Truly.
I definitely have.
Right?
I've done some shit.
So much
I
stuff.
was a vacuum salesman for a while.
Kirby?
Yes. Swear to God. It was the fucking gnarliest thing too. It was just, and I would get fucking stoned as a bejesus belt. And because I hated myself. I hated life. I'm selling vacuums. I'm like in my my late 20s, early 30s. I'm like, what? Goodney, what in the fuck are we doing? We're like, we just need money.
Took a wrong turn
We got like
somewhere.
30 kids. So let's just keep going. So, and I'm working for this company. And once again, not for nothing, the Kirby vacuum, by the way, no knock, probably the best fucking vacuum in the world. It's also a 40-pound vacuum.
And it's also like $5,000,
It's
isn't it? Very expensive.
Well, it was
$1,500
$1,500
Yeah.
when I was selling it. On sale, though, if you want to get anyway, the funniest thing was, though, there was never a place that I couldn't go into and show them that they were dirty. And that's what it was. Because the Kirby vacuum always would suck dirt more than any other vacuum. They had a patent on vacuuming. And so you'd go in and just, like, I'd sit there and I remember, like, vacuuming off this couple's bed and feeling like these two people wanted me to get in it with them.
Oh, God.
And as I'm vacuuming the fucking thing, this just like it's supposed to take like 30 seconds to fill. The second I turned it on, this thing's the little cartridge that says you're a filthy fuck. It's right there, full. And I'm like, oh. And so the guy jumps on the bed and he goes, yeah, we don't usually vacuum on the bed. We do other things on it. I'm like, yeah, well, just so we know, we have payment plans available for you. If you act now, I'm like, get me. And I remember there's so many times driving home from a job just going, I have a couple of choices here. I can either quit, work to get fired, or jerk the wheel of this fucking car into the next bridge embankment. You know, you just do that a couple of times and you're like, I got to do something. But so many people would just, no. And then my favorite is they're like, well, I'm depressed. Well, and then they go
why.
and then they go get put on a drug.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of zombies
Yeah.
walking out there.
A lot of zombies.
And by the way, you zombies out there working every day, I hope you'll click and subscribe to the Good Times with Goodney. So that maybe someday you'll go out there and find yourself your own good time. If you need any help, you just let us know. Speaking of, so here we go. You've been through your halo. Uh-huh. You're moving forward in life. You realize that the shit you've been told is not good for you. Where are you now?
And then one night, so I quit. I closed my studio. I started working for commercial gyms. Just in the meantime, make a paycheck. Still doing what I love while I figure out a new love.
All of the jobs I've had, none of them have been in the workout facilities.
Are you sure about that? I'm shocked.
I think I've been to 3 gyms. Each time I'm like, there's just a lot of people in here I don't think that I'd get along with. All these weights and what am I running from?
All this
What am I
effort.
running from? Really? I'm going to stand on a treadmill for 2 hours because I got... Anyway, so now you're working big corporate gyms.
So I'm sitting on my ex-boyfriend's recliner in front of this beautiful fire, and I had this really nice glass of red wine. And I'm sipping, I feel great. And I looked down and I said, you know, there's got to be a way I can make money drinking wine. Kind of half joking, right? And I sat there and I thought, anything I've ever said I could do, I've done it. There's a way. I'm going to figure this out. I know nothing about wine other than I love it, but I'm going to figure this out. So I took to Google. This was in, let's say, 2013, 2014? 2014. Took to Google and I typed in wine jobs, Massachusetts, and just let whatever come up. And I found 2 jobs. I got them both. And they were selling, one was for a local vineyard. It was for Hardwick.
Okay.
Vineyard and Winery out in Hardwick. And it was selling their wines out in the stores and just doing sampling, pouring. And the other was kind of a direct-to-consumer wine sales where I could learn on the job for both. And I said, done. All right, let's do this. And boy, I took to it like a moth to a flame. I was really good at what I did. I was phenomenal at the sales, made a ton of money, and I just loved it. And the teacher in me came out, you know, because I was an instructor for so many years. And I learned everything I could and then taught my customers. And it was hugely successful. My company ended up hiring me at corporate to teach all their other reps how to do what I did. And I said, you know what? This isn't enough. I'm going to go be a somm. I'm going to go get certified as a somm. And I did in Manhattan. Went out to Manhattan, got certified as a somm within a year. And as I said, nah, I don't want to work in a restaurant. That's what a somm does. They work in restaurants. They run the wine programs. I have no intention.
No, that
No
could,
intention of that.
That would take it away from me too. If
Yeah. I need to call the shots, all right? So, okay, I'm going to continue my education with the WSET, which is the Wine and Spirit Education Trust. I'm going to continue with the Society of Wine Educators. I'm going to become a wine educator. And I did. And I have about 12 certifications under my belt now. And it just kind of snowballed into what I've created now. I worked for a couple different companies as an educator, running wine dinners, working at wineries, running tasting rooms. I've done everything in this industry you can do.
Right.
But nothing spoke to me like teaching others.
Okay.
I may not be changing lives anymore like I did in the gym, you know, I was giving people their health back.
I don't know if that's
but
true.
I'm giving people like good times. I'm really giving them some tips and tricks and education to make really fun, delicious choices.
I think anything that brings fulfillment or joy to you is a good thing, number one. And I think as you get older, I can't imagine sucking down bottles of wine in my 20s, my 30s. No, I didn't want to. I think at one point in time I was an IPA guy, and Jesus Christ, I think I was like a fucking tick. Like just, oh God. Anyway, and then I discovered wine, and I'm like, oh, that's not bad. And then it went from not bad, and it started the same way most do. They get into a red blend or a Pinot Noir. I'm like, oh, that's not bad at all. Then you get into either a Cabernet, and then I got into Malbecs, and then, I got into Chiantis. I stayed away from Chiantis for the longest time. Do you know why?
No, I don't. Why?
I thought it would make me like Hannibal Lecter. What? I don't know why. Every time I ever thought of a Chianti, I just thought of it as this weird wine that Hannibal Lecter ate with liver and fava beans. You know who that is, right?
That is so sad. Of
It
course
was
I know
yeah.
what it is.
Oh, yeah. You kept me
Missing
away
a
from
beautiful
it.
wine.
Oh, my God. It's not one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love a Super Tuscans.
Yeah, we have one tonight.
Yeah. I love even the regular Tuscans. They don't even have to be super. You know, they can be ordinary.
average
Just the
Tuscans.
average Tuscan that just goes about his every day.
Do you know how Super Tuscans came to be?
I have no idea. This is why you're here.
Yeah. So Super Tuscans are they're a declassified wine in Tuscany.
Declassified as in what? Is it like the ugly stepchild?
No. So there are classifications in Italy that in order to be classified in these categories, I guess we'll call them, they have to adhere to certain laws. So for instance, if you're going to make a Chianti is a region, right? It's a sub-region in Tuscany. And it's not a wine, it's not a grape. Most people think that it's a grape. It's not. It's a region. And in order to call your wine or classify it as Chianti, it has to be 85% Sangiovese grape.
Okay.
And then the rest can be made up of some other indigenous Tuscan grapes. Well, what they found was in Tuscany, they grow Cabernet, Merlot, Syrah really well. These are international grapes. And they didn't fit into any classification. You can't put it into Chianti. You can't put it into Brunello di Montalcino. You can't put it into these. So what they did is they declassified it down as a Toscana, IGT, lower classification where there aren't as, what's the word I'm looking for, strict rules, I guess.
Yeah.
And they call them Super Tuscans. So technically they're declassified, but they're some of the most expensive wines you can find in Italy, some of them. Like Sassicaia, right? Sassicaia is a Super Tuscan.
All right.
Because they're using international grapes.
So it has to be of the grapes that come out of Italy. You've got Sangioveses and the Montepulcianos. What else?
Oh my God, there's thousands.
Thousands. So I learned that, what was it, the classification that you get on the bottle, which is the DOC.
DOCG or DO, yep,
yeah.
DOC, DOCG.
And I thought I was like really on the end when I found out that DOCG, because you can go to like weird out of the blue freaking places that have like these unbelievable wines because they're like mom and pop shops. They have no idea what they have there. It's been sitting there for years. I found one up in Vermont one time. I'm like, I looked it up, and I looked it up on my wine app, and they're like, this thing's like 4.5, and these guys are selling it for $6. It's usually $69 a bottle. I go, I'll take. How many you got of these? You got a case? I love that stuff. But yeah, haven't been to Italy yet. Have you?
No, I haven't. It's
Really?
no.
Is
no,
that-
it's coming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Going to France next year first. We'll do
So
France.
France first, and then
Yeah, I'm a certified French wine scholar, so I kind of want to go check out the region I became a scholar for. I'm Italian one too, but yeah, doing France.
That's
France.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, French scholar. No, I've been there. No, I'm gonna be there next year.
Go there next year.
I'm gonna get there next. They've been begging me there since they gave me the scholarship to get out there. So then you got into teaching people about wine, and I mean, like I said, I think as your palate gets better and as you get older, that's what I think happened to me. Is I started drinking it, and I was like, oh my god, each one just got better and better, and I started to want more and more flavors on my palate, and I wanted to have, and I got really fucking bougie about it.
But it's confusing, right? It's really
very
confusing.
confusing.
I mean, there's just so much out there. How do you know? And what I found is, and I tell this to my classes all the time. Most people have one or two go-to wines, no matter what they're eating,
And
no
they're
matter where they
afraid
are.
to venture out.
Yeah, because I mean, you don't want to spend $50 on a bottle you don't know if you're gonna like.
Money means nothing too.
Right.
Money means nothing when it comes to a wine. You can get a really expensive wine that's shit.
Absolutely.
I've done that before.
You can get a phenomenal wine for $15.
Ready? This
Yeah,
one right
I know.
here.
I know. You
That's
love that one.
that's my baby right there.
Yeah.
That there gets bought by the case. That's the table wine. That's the house wine. I can't sell it here yet because they just don't. They have no taste for it at Rascals.
I'm aware.
And if I got it,
Yes.
yeah, soon, and for the rest of my life. But yeah, that's my wine, and that's my other problem too. Is like I'm afraid to bring in wine I like because I'm already bad enough. I got a bottle in the back with my paper bag on it. And I'm just no, it's not that bad. But yeah, I can't. I look forward to that. I haven't been to Napa yet either. I want to do that
I'm
trip.
going in March.
You're going in March? Haven't been there yet. You went to the Finger Lakes. I know that.
Yeah, I've gone a couple times. I love the Finger Lakes.
Finger
I
Lakes.
love it there so much.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
So whether that just on the outside of.
So all of the Finger Lakes, if you look at a map, I mean, they look like fingers. That's why they're glacial lakes.
Yeah.
And it's out, maybe 2 hours from Buffalo.
Okay. So total
It takes me 5 hours to
5
get
hours.
to
You
the,
drive
yeah.
like a maniac.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do have a lead
That's
foot.
what they're slowing down now. They're going after you people.
25 miles an hour citywide.
It's nuts, isn't it? It's nuts. And I can't wait to get pulled over doing it. I can't wait because I'm not. I can't. Not only that, but there's bike lanes. I haven't seen a fucking bike. What is it, the Tour de Worcester? Did we get nominated for a tour somewhere?
When did this? Who
Tell you what,
decided
here's
this?
another one for you. How about why the fuck are there bike lanes on both sides? Are these things that fucking popular that they need a westbound and an eastbound lane
It's
and a
so
bike?
bad.
And then there's a walking lane because, yeah, clearly look at a lot of us. We walk.
This is not a walking city.
And then there's
it's
a
not a biking
sidewalk.
city.
What is the sidewalk for then?
Yeah.
I don't
Good
understand.
question.
If there's a walking lane, a parking lane, a cycling lane, and a fucking touch your Peter lane, what is going on? Like, how many more lanes do they need to be? And now you've taken down like most 2-lane streets. You're like, fuck it, nope, 1 lane, and we've got bus can stop here. And then, by the way, if you've looked, the bus is wiping out all of the walkers and all of the fucking cyclists. He's just coming in, blinker, no blinker, taking them right out.
It's a disaster.
It's a shit show.
Mill Street is I won't even go down Mill
I
Street
drive
anymore.
I drive it every day and I laugh every
won't.
day.
I won't.
I just wish I had a shit fucking car that I didn't give up because I just like I wish you remember when I don't know if you remember when you were a kid, you could ride your bike and you could just kick out your ass end tire. You just kick your ass end. I want to do that to every one of those fucking little white poles they got sticking up out of nowhere.
They went down Mill Street last week, was it, and pulled them all out because the snow is coming.
Well, isn't
So now
that
the city is
something?
going to be paying these people to pull them out every year and put them back in every year.
God, they're so smart.
I know.
So smart.
Glad they know what to do best with our tax dollars.
Oh,
It's nice,
God, yeah.
isn't
Don't
it?
you worry. Listen, we're getting out of here soon. We're out of here. I say it 5 years. I'm in Myrtle in 5, I think.
I don't know.
They need people down there to teach wine. You can teach wine at my
do that.
line dancing club. Anytime, Missa.
All right, I will
Anytime.
come
I'm
down.
telling you,
I
you
will
come down.
Come down, visit.
Oh, they got that Moscato grape. That's their big thing.
No, down there,
Muscadine.
Muscadine.
Sorry, yes,
Muscadine, yeah.
Muscadine grape. See, this is why she's there. 'Cause
Yeah.
anyone else would have been just like, yeah, Chris, yeah.
No.
No,
You know,
Chris.
Moscato actually comes from Italy.
Is that where it comes from? Okay. That's another one of their fucking wonderful grapes. They just get grapes galore, huh?
Oh, thousands. The tricky thing about Italy is every region they have a different name for the same grape. It's
Well, that's cheating.
tough.
That's kind of
It's tough.
cheating, isn't it?
It's
grape.
Yeah.
No, it's not grape. This is grap.
Yeah, grop. No, they have
is grappe.
legit different name. Grappe.
This is a grape. This is a grape.
Legit different names.
That's
It's frustrating,
crazy.
Yeah.
Is that just like hide recipes?
No, it's,
Like this,
everything
everything-
is very. There's just different little.
Is it different
sects,
dialects
different
of-
dialects
of
and
Italian?
Different. Yeah. Italy is kind of like a whole bunch of little.
Kind of like
countries in
Massachusetts
itself.
speak to
It's-
like Texas speak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good way of
They
putting
don't use
it.
the word wicked,
Definitely not.
which is they're missing out.
It's a great
That
word.
thing is fucking awesome.
a great word.
It's wicked fucking awesome. It's one of my favorite words. That's how you know how emphatic I am about something. When I
You're
go,
wicked.
Wicked? That was wicked cool. You ever get that out of me, you know. You just blew my mind.
It's over.
Yeah. Any person from Massachusetts goes, that was wicked cool. You have just blown us away. There's not much more. There's not much more we can do from there. Oh, God. So, here we are, the middle of Italy, tasting grapes. Sorry. What made you decide to start doing the pairings that you do for wine down events?
That's actually what I started doing with the direct-to-consumer. My very first job is I would bring wines and show people like a set of wines, and then it was very important that I showed them how to pair it with food because that's where you win them over. Wine is supposed to be a condiment to your food. It's not supposed to be
You
just
said
a
that
beverage.
the last time. As soon as you said that to me, I was like,
Well, we're in America. We treat it like a beverage. It's
We
a
do.
cocktail, right? It's a cocktail. And if it's not just sippable and drinkable, we'll move on to the next. That's not how it is in the rest of the world. It's part of the meal.
yes.
It's a condiment to your food. It's supposed to make your food taste better. The food's supposed to make the wine taste better.
I enjoy going to a restaurant that says we're pairing this with this tonight.
Yes. I love when I see that on the menu. Love it. So, not many people here speak the language of wine, but they speak food, right? Everybody understands food. So if I can get in that way and say, hey, your favorite food, I can make it even better. Watch this. So
And some of it does. It absolutely does.
it does.
It's
And
so funny.
it made such a big difference when I was doing this direct to consumer. I said, if I could do this on a broader scale and get in front of 40 people every time I do this, even better.
Make a couple bucks and
Even
have
better.
some fun.
Yeah. And it's been amazing.
Yeah.
So, and now, of course, I try to partner with local food people, local bakers like Moshmellows and Ivy's Max and More and
I never thought you could fuck me over with a marshmallow. But oh my God.
you know what I did at Broken Creek this summer was kettle corn. We have a Minuteman Kettle Corn is a local Worcester business, woman owned, makes phenomenally flavored kettle corns. We did a whole class on kettle corn and wine.
Kettle corn and wine.
was
See,
amazing. It
you
was
get fucked
amazing.
up with anything and just you can eat whatever. Yeah. We did cookies last
We
time
just
I
did
was
Christmas
there.
cookies.
I was
yeah.
so mad I missed the pizza one.
Pizza was good.
I
That
know
was
it
a lot of fun.
I was away that night.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I had tickets to it too.
That's a good one.
The next one is the wine and cheese.
Wine and cheese
Looking
with
forward to
Smith's
that
Country
one.
Cheese. So I worked with them for like 4 years now. They're a farm in Winchendon, family-owned farm, amazing.
Yeah.
Just wonderful people. So
And you've seen a lot of different vineyards over the New England area just kind of grow over the years.
Oh, it's been incredible.
It's amazing the growth of them.
incredible. In 2023, I visited 65 New England and upstate New York wineries in just 1 year.
Does Massachusetts do so? I know in Connecticut because I've done it a couple of times. I've never completed it, but they do the passport for all the wine vineyards down there.
They don't. We don't have a passport. We don't have an official wine trail or a passport. We used to have an association that was doing that. It just fell apart. There are people in the
It's a
industry
miss, I
trying to
think.
get it back.
I think the Connecticut one's fun.
The thing is with Connecticut, there's so many.
Yeah.
And you can make a whole trail out of it. And in Mass, we're all very spread out.
yeah,
There's
it's those long rides. It's a
the long
weird
rides.
country. I mean,
Yeah.
even Broken Creek.
Yeah,
it's not on the main thoroughfare.
no, it's in a neighborhood. It's so beautiful though. It's such a
They're
pretty
good- They're
vineyard.
lucky they have good neighbors because a lot of times you start doing you get business, and all of a sudden you create traffic in a
Yeah.
otherwise non-traffic neighborhood. They're like, no, I don't think I like that.
Yeah, I know. Nobody likes growth.
No,
I know.
you get a rowdy bunch of winos out there throwing grapes at each other.
So
in the
beautiful
field.
there, though.
But no, they do a great job.
They
out
do a
there.
great
They do.
job, yeah. And they grow a lot. They grow a lot of hybrid grapes, but they import a lot from California, from Chile, from South Africa.
Well, I think that's like, you had mentioned that one time at one of the events that we did, and that was that you can't really survive on just the grapes you grow on your own.
It's tough
plot
up
of
here.
land. Yeah,
It's tough up here.
I can imagine.
And most vineyards, even in Napa, a lot of them are sourcing from other farms. It's hard.
It takes a lot of grapes.
It takes a lot.
And you get some
Takes
of
a
these
lot.
places that put out, we can't even fathom how many bottles.
I know. Although it's interesting. So I just saw, oh my gosh, this broke my heart. I just saw a video today. Wine, the sales are dropping rapidly.
Okay.
This new generation coming up, they're not drinking like we
They're not
did.
drinking at all.
They're not. It's a sober generation.
No, what's weird is
It's-
they would rather the Monster and the and the
it's
Red Bulls
crazy.
and the crap.
So I was watching this video of there are some wineries, there are vineyards out in California that are tearing up acres and acres and acres of beautiful vines. They're just not selling. And they showed all these vines and all the grapes were shriveled up because there was no use for them. They didn't even harvest them.
That's crazy.
And they were ripping up. I've never seen vines ripped up until I saw this. It was heartbreaking.
That is
It was
heartbreaking, actually.
really
To hear you
sad.
say it is very bad.
Yeah, so we might be seeing a change very soon.
That doesn't make me happy.
I know, it's sad.
But is that the way of the world, though?
It is the way of the world. I mean,
there's
like,
always the ebb and flow.
Absolutely. Look at what's happening with craft breweries around here.
Oh,
It
I knew
became
that was coming.
oversaturated. I knew it was
That had
coming.
to come.
Yeah,
That
and
had
now
to
all of a
happen.
sudden,
Everybody had a fucking brewery. Everybody.
everybody.
We got Jim's Brewery right here, and I feel bad once again. I mean, but I think that's with most things. I mean, I don't think things last the test of time like they used to. You're
That's
not going to
true.
beat Coca-Cola and make 100+ years.
Yeah.
Even if we did come out with something that extravagant, somebody else is going to buy it from you, and you're going to cash the fuck out.
Exactly.
You ain't holding on to make something that big.
Yep.
Why would you? All it takes is them to go, we want it, and you say no, and they go, well, we're just going to sue you until you can't fucking do it anymore.
That's true. And,
Really
and
does.
that's,
How about that?
that's also the problem when you're an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to, I'm trying to think ahead. Like, this is great right now. I think I'm at the peak of where I'm going to be for a while, but I'm going to have to adjust, and
I think so, but I mean, but it could also, in the same respect, it's not like you're turning out classes of 300-400 people.
Right.
I think
right.
it's all a phase of life thing.
Yeah.
Kind of like me. Like I get the kids when they're younger, and then they meet somebody, and then they leave and have kids, and then life sucks, and they're like, "What did I love most about life?" They're like, "Oh, dancing," and then they come back.
And then they come
so
back.
I got this big gap between like 27 and like 40 something. They just disappear. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or it's not going that well in the mid range, and they're trying to still figure it out, which is great. I wish it all the best to everybody. Have a great play, but I think that's what it is. Your niche will always there's always going to be those people. I hope. Because fuck, I'd hate to have to figure out what the fuck I'm doing after this. Right. I mean, I know you all think that podcasting is really where it's going to take off for me, but I might have to read children's books.
It's like anything, though. It's an evolution. You got to evolve with the times and with the demand.
Yeah, I think it's funny how if you think back to our great grandparents and our grandparents, maybe even our parents, like one lifetime was one lifetime. Like
Yeah.
it was the same job, it was the same spouse, it was the same family, it was the same. Now you're just picking up shit constantly.
I can't even relate
Right?
to that.
Can you imagine?
I can't.
The guy the first dude you met that your parents introduced you to from the farm down the street. You guys have been married for 62 years.
I can't fathom.
And you're telling everybody you're happy?
I will never
Good
forget.
God.
I will never forget when I had to renew. I was about to renew my lease for where my studio was, and he wanted another 5 years. And my mom says, 5 years? You can't even commit to a guy for 5 years, and he wants you to commit to a lease? Thanks, Mom. Thanks.
Mom, I asked you to
She
stay in the
wasn't
car,
wrong.
didn't I?
She
Mom,
wasn't
didn't I ask you
wrong.
to stay in the car? Mom, it's different. Guys in lease, all right, Ma, you're right, but Jesus.
For me, when I think about it, it is impressive to me how people like our grandparents grew alongside each other with
Yeah.
each other.
Well, there was nothing else.
Yeah, that's right. You got together, you raised your family,
heaven forbid,
and you died.
Heaven forbid
Basically.
Mildred from the other town sent you a letter in the fucking mail and your wife got it. You know what I mean? Not only that, but what are you doing? You're hiding your letters in the bathroom? like how are you cheating back then? Now you're like, I went out to the shop. I'm going to be back. And it's so bad. And all it takes is you put out one picture feeling good and somebody says, oh, yeah, you look good. And you're like, oh, I fucking figured it. All right. And it is. It's so bad. But back then, what? Carry a pigeon flying by. Husband outside going, oh, fuck, that's the third time I seen that pigeon go by. Who the hell's sending letters to you? And not only that, but I mean, let's face it. Women weren't really working to get themselves together back in the day. You seen the moo-moos? I mean, good,
true.
Good Lord.
This is true.
But
I don't know. I think we all just have a collective case of ADHD too. Like
no,
we get bored. We get bored.
we do.
We move
Well, the
on.
thing is we find acquaintances, and we create relationships with acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
You know, once you find your real best friend, and then when that one breaks up, you know that one hurts. That one hurts. And you sit back with that one for a while. But a lot of times then you realize that all the other ones were acquaintances too. And you're like, am I an asshole? You're like, no. Once again, I guess if I don't know what gold looks like, but I know gold's very valuable. And I know I got a kind of idea what it's like. It's got this yellowish hue, right?
A little shiny.
Right. If I'm walking by a creek and it fucking looks like gold, I'm grabbing it, I'm picking it up, I want to carry it with me, I'm bringing it in. The guy, not fucking gold. It's not gold. I'm like, all right, break up. Then you're like, oh, look, another one that's not quite the same, but still looks the same. Bring it. No, not love. Okay. So that's what I look at it as.
Yeah.
Like, I keep trying to find gold nuggets.
Yeah.
And when you don't find one, you're like, it's still a pretty rock. You can keep it here.
But at least we're eternal optimists.
We really
think
have
we're
to. You have to.
You have to be.
You have to. Because as soon as you get to the point where you're like, I'm just going to feed my cat tonight and watch Matlock.
I'm very close.
I know you are. You
Me
scare
and my
me
dog,
sometimes. I
I'm
see the
very
pictures.
close.
You've all, I'm waiting. Have your friends come in to go, listen, Missa, honey.
Intervention.
We got to get you back. I know, honey. It's been a rough road. It hasn't been easy. But for the love of God, you're dressing up the dog and you're putting on posters. I've seen it.
I'm sorry. She brings me more joy
No, of course she
than
does. Of
any
course she
human
does.
ever has. She's fabulous.
Of course she does. Because she comes, I'm sure as soon as you get home, she's all snarky and then she's playing hard to get and you love that. But you can always get her back with a little treat. That's what it is. So no matter how much of a little bitch she wants to be, that's the thing. If you had that kind of relationship where all of a sudden you're like, don't be mad. I have this treat, which I think women have all the time. I think they carry it with them like a fucking American Express. They've always got it.
Yeah, but you know what we don't have anymore is patience. Like,
You don't.
I'm sorry. When you're
really
at this
don't.
age, when you're at this age right now, everybody.
Are those your fucking socks?
Here's what's happening if at this age, if you're single. And I'm going to talk about the men from my point of view, okay? The men, if they are single with no children, they have clear issues, right? Because they can't commit. There's something going on. And if they're divorced, their ex-wives have destroyed them. Like, they're completely broken into a pile of sand. There's nothing left. That's the options.
Go on.
Yeah, that's the
I don't think you
options.
could be further from the truth.
Oh, really?
I think I had this conversation a couple of times, and I said, you know what? I think what happens is, and it's weird because once we get hurt, once that shit happens, you don't want to love again. You don't want to love again. And when you do, you don't want to love as much. You're like, okay. It's almost like a sandwich. You're like, I don't want that much mayo. Not this time. I'm a big mayo freak with my BLTs, but
enough.
I've had enough. We're going to skim it back. I'm going to show you I don't even like that much mayo. And then all of a sudden you break it up, you're like, fuck it. Next time you're going, no mayo. Just no mayo. And it's weird. It's almost like every time you get fired from a job or quit a job, you did the next one worse. You would never do that, right? You would try at least. But that's what we do with love. As soon as the next one comes up, you go, I'm going to be so guarded. This guy's not going to hurt me. Well, no shit. He's not even going to get to love you. You're not going to get to do shit because you just didn't let him in. And you're like, but when you do, I mean, once again, we're all fucking idiots.
Well, we're all broken to some extent. I mean, but there's the half of people who have done the inner work and really tried to figure out, all right, where did this come from? Why am I like this? Let me fix this. Let me heal these wounds. And then there's the other half that are just in the clouds. They're in denial. Nope, I'm fine. I'm just going to keep tormenting every new person I meet.
It's like somebody in war that's been just shot full of holes, and they're just going around going, I'm fine. I'm just going to keep going. They're going to bleed on everybody else.
That's what they do.
Yeah, it's exactly what they do.
And at some
then they're
point-
slowing those people down. They're getting shot now. You're like, what the fuck?
At some point, it's not worth it. It's
No,
exhausting.
you gotta let
It's like,
dude, you're shot.
dude, I'm done.
You gotta go.
Like,
Done. I'm done.
So over it.
I used to have a friend who used to do that all the time. Dude, you gotta be done. Like what? Done. What does that mean? It means it's done. When you look at her, you just go, done. I go, if I look at her and say that, I'm gonna get punched in the face. Like just a quick shot, just enough to like leave the mark of the ring on the side of my cheek or something.
Oh, it's
But
exhausting.
yeah, it really is.
It's
But
exhausting.
is there anything better than love?
There's wine.
There's wine and chocolate. Yeah, I was gonna say there's
And
only
dogs.
a really good, well-opened bottle that's
nice
aired out well.
Napa cab.
Napa cab from a proper year. Ones where the wildfires help feed the fucking grapes. Some of them you can tell,
The
There's
smoke.
more of a smoky
Yeah,
taste
the
to
smoke
them.
taint. Yeah, it's sad.
I'm full
Yeah.
of shit. Actually, I have no idea.
No. Oh gosh, I've actually had a
I read that in
smoke-tainted
Wine Spectator.
I've had it,
Honestly.
and it's funny because when it was first bottled, it was fine, but the bottles that aged, as they aged, they became really, really smoky. It was
That's funny, isn't it?
yeah,
It is funny how
Yeah.
the grape takes all the flavors from almost everything out there,
everything. Yep.
and then just puts it in there and then just releases it as it
And well,
feels
it's
fit.
always growing. It's all like wine is always it's living from the minute it's
Now, what do you mean
on
it's
the vine.
living?
It's constantly evolving. It's constantly
It does
changing. Yeah.
I mean, a beer will go flat.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. A wine, if left open, will turn into vinegar.
It'll do a lot of things
Oh,
that aren't
it'll
pleasant.
make your
Yeah.
stomach very upset if you didn't know it's not good. And
Have you ever had a bad wine?
I didn't
Like
have
it's gone bad?
yeah. Well, I don't know if it was. Well, it was pretty tangy.
They're usually
I didn't really
harmless.
feel good after
It's
that.
It's typically it's harmless,
Yeah.
but it just doesn't
My tummy
taste
didn't like
good.
it. My tummy
Yeah.
didn't like it.
Yeah.
It was tangy.
Yeah.
It was way bad. It was so bad. I was so fucked up. I remember it too. I'm like, I don't even need another drink, but I'm fuck you. And just
That's sad.
I drank it. And I'm going. I'm gonna finish it
I started.
because it was a good bottle of wine that I didn't properly store.
that
Asshat.
that is super
That's
sad when that happens.
Yeah, and it was an expensive bottle. So
I still have a 1985 bottle of Dom Perignon in my wine fridge, waiting. I've been saving it. I had, maybe a dozen old vintage Doms, and like on all kinds of
Different big occasions.
milestones, I'd have one. I have one left.
oh,
One
that's
left.
scary. We have to get you some other thing because
Yeah.
maybe you worry that there's only one milestone that you have left.
I'm gonna open it on my 50th birthday.
Well, that's got a few years to wait then, doesn't it?
It's got about 3 months.
Stop it. I would never have even admitted that. There's
Yeah.
no way. There's no way. Every time I look at you, there's no way. But I get it because you are technically older than me. I have a thing for older women. That's why I can't wait to get into the Seven Hills Foundation. I'm going to let some women win the bingo.
I'm telling you, I have some friends that live in a 55 and over community. I met them through doing my
Yeah.
wine events. They're fabulous women. And I've been there. I'm like, this place is great. Like, I
Yes,
want to
this
move
is-
into one of these.
I'm
This is-
telling
guys
ya.
have fun.
Well, do you realize the Golden Girls weren't really that old?
Yeah. Yeah. No, actually.
But that's what even in their age while they were there, I think they were only early 60s
They were in their 60s.
in the show.
Yep, in the show.
And that's
well,
how
in the
they
show, they were in
showed
their
women
mid
in their
50s.
60s.
But Dorothy and Rose were actually in real life in their 60s.
Yeah.
Blanche was a little younger. Sophia played an 80-year-old, but she was like a 50-year-old.
she was like, yeah,
Like,
she was so- yeah. She was just
Yeah.
like a small Grammy.
That's my future. That's what you're looking at.
Nah.
House with my girlfriends in Miami.
Yeah,
and some
just
wicker
petting
furniture.
pet small dogs going, fuck him too. Oh, no, he tried to come over. He did. Said that my fridge was broken. My fridge isn't broken. I know when my fridge is
Classic.
broken. Just petting your dogs.
Still watch the show.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Still watch it. It's
all
great.
those shows back then were good. See? Full circle.
Excellent.
Just came
Excellent
right back.
writing.
Yeah. And now you find out some of them were just not. I don't know. Ready? I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you think Michael Jackson did it?
I don't.
See, I said the
I
same thing.
really don't.
I've said the same thing.
I really don't.
as honest to God. And the reason I say it is because the people who really do it, they would never out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think.
And I just don't think. And then you hear like now, Aaron Carter came out and he's like, my mother was all that. And Corey Feldman, same thing. They all said no, never did nothing.
There's a lot of Hollywood abuse, but I don't think he was
I don't think it
one
was
of
him
them.
either. I say the same
I really
thing.
don't.
Because oh god, that was so bad too. And then of course, as soon as he started talking out, you listen to the songs on that last album, you could tell he was becoming an angry man.
Yeah.
You know, they don't really care about us. One of my favorite songs. And
It's like Prince too, right? Like,
oh yeah.
Start speaking out.
I love it because they told everybody he was crazy because he said he started telling everybody his name was a symbol or he called himself the artist, and nobody understood what he meant because he couldn't even say it. And then they find out it's because Sony just mule porks you, steals your name, steals your identity.
It's fascinating. But yeah.
You don't realize
I don't
what
think
you're
there were
saying.
accidents.
Dave Chappelle says the same thing. He goes, "I'm 19 years old. You don't know what the fuck you're signing. You just sign."
That's all right. I love Dave Chappelle.
I love him too. He's
Love
great.
him.
And the fact that he just fought back and said, "Fuck
Yeah,
you."
he
all.
will not be canceled.
No,
he won't.
Fuck you all.
Yep.
Yeah. I wish George Carlin was still alive. Just fuck around with people.
Another
We
one,
need another
yeah.
George Carlin.
We do.
I thought about it myself.
That's
like,
the problem with today's society. We don't have enough of that.
George Carlin, I just sit there and go, you know what? You are a fucking idiot. And you paid to come in here and hear me tell you it too. Because you needed it, you stupid fucks. You go to college and you fucking pay tens of thousands of dollars to become dumber. You walk out of there going, I believe that this and this, and you are fucking stupid.
Man,
Because
I
once
saw it firsthand, even at Worcester State. I was in communications, right? So I had a lot of media classes. And some of those professors, were they trying to brainwash? And most of the kids, okay, whatever you say.
You have
and
people
then,
who have never had a real job in their lives.
And then there were some of us who were like, well, wait a minute. What about, tell us the other side. We want both sides. And they would get mad at us. Yeah.
It is funny how I find conservatives always want to know more.
Yes. That's true.
Anybody ask them a question, and then when you have the debate or the conversation, it turns argumentative, and the reason it becomes argumentative is because you don't know what you're fucking talking about. And I do have conservative friends that don't know what the fuck they're talking about either, but the insults just come at you, and you're like, tinfoil hat, yeah, okay. Are you done with the insults? Now can you answer my question?
Yeah.
Where did 10 million votes go?
It's just regurgitating talking points
10 million
from
votes
the
go.
mainstream media and insults.
Once again, why do you think Ukraine deserves 163 billion? You tell me why. There's nothing here in the United States you would fix first. Well, we have to help them because they're getting attacked by the Russians. Are they? Yeah. TV told me. That's what it is.
CNN said so.
Fucking CNN. God rest my mother, but fuck, we had it out a few times.
Really?
All the time. Oh, my God. I'd listen. I'd go in a room and I would just hear it. And I'm like, I want to punch these fucking people so hard in the face for lying to the American public. Because everything they said, it's just like an agitated state.
Yeah.
Like they don't report anything.
No.
They don't tell you, by the way, Elon Musk and SpaceX finally landed their rocket. They're like, billionaire mogul and Trump friend Elon Musk lands very expensive and gas using rocket. Like and you're like, you fucking assholes, man. You can't just be like, like that joke I said to you. What did I say to you today? That Walter Cronkite used to tell us.
My God.
So Jay, I'll tell you this real quick. I was running late, as usual. I send her a message. I'm like, I'm running late. She's like, well, way to tell me just as I'm leaving. And I'm like, well, actually, the great Walter Cronkite used to tell guests that 5 minutes before the show that the doors were going to be locked for another 25 minutes in order to create panic and rage and to get the best interview out of someone. And then by the end of it, I go, I'm totally making this up, so I'll see you in a couple minutes.
And he also thinks he's Walter Cronkite, so.
What we have here, drones over New Jersey. What do we have?
I don't even know what Walter Cronkite sounds like.
It's not that.
This is Walter Cronkite. Sounds like something a news guy would say back then. But that's what it was, remember?
Yeah,
Everybody tune in, 10 o'clock. Walter Cronkite, we have drones over New Jersey. Nothing to worry about tonight, so please remember to get eggs tomorrow. And then all of a sudden, I think it was like, 2001, the 24-hour news cycle started?
Is that when it began, really, with 9/11?
Yeah, I think somewhere around there. And you know what else is crazy is if you look into like true crime podcasts and stuff like that, they'll like Nancy Grace, she put a lot of people in jail that may not have belonged there. She was a fuck. It was bad. It's some of these guys, some of these people, like she just went crazy. Like I watch a lot of the stuff like the John Bonet stuff, and everybody that says like the parents did it, blah blah blah. There's a lot of it that just doesn't make sense. It's not, you're saying that the parents wrote a good ransom letter. So either the parents organized it and thought about it ahead of time, and yet went out in public that day looking like a perfectly normal family ready to go to Florida, or they killed her by accident, and then they had to write the ransom note. So either way, like the ransom, it doesn't add
doesn't
up.
make sense.
So I listened to it from a a book from the guy who was the criminal profiler who started the FBI's criminal profiling, who found out like that most serial killers were bedwetters and had overbearing mothers and killed small animals when they were younger, whatever the trifecta is that they say, that just basically says, you're fucked up, we got to watch you. So these guys, and I love that shit. Like, I love that shit. I'm like, they're never going to catch me. No, that's not.
Taking pointers
but
how to avoid getting caught.
I think now that it's so much more difficult now to probably be a serial killer, as like, I think like the late 70s, early 80s, they fucking flourished. They were like great ones. There's a documentary, I think, on Netflix. It has like the top 5 Bundy.
Really?
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, I should check that out. Yeah.
Well, as a young lady, I can't imagine why. Like, that's who they killed. It's just young women. They're all young, a lot of them prostitutes and stuff like that.
Yeah, there was usually a profile, right? Like a certain profile.
And it's usually all these guys had problems with their moms. And then you got
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dahmer, who's just fucking eating people and shit. Like, that was just normal. He's just like, what are we going to have tonight? I think Gerald. I'm going to have Gerald's forearm or bicep.
A little saute.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe put that with some, I don't know, some grilled asparagus. Maybe some bacon lardoons. Throw that in there.
True crime. It's so funny. There's so many women into true, like my best friend, she's obsessed with true crime. I never really, it's not that I don't enjoy watching. I do. I find it fascinating, but I never
Well,
got into,
I think it's
like,
because, like, for me, it's just, I don't want to, I listen to music, I think, too much.
Yeah.
So now I
yeah.
just want to hear people, like, right now I'm listening to the book Wicked on
Oh, no kidding.
audiobooks.
Audiobooks? Yeah. Oh, cool.
And that's pretty cool. I've seen Wicked a few times. I love it. It's a great, if you haven't seen it, let me know.
haven't.
We'll
Wasn't
go.
it just around?
It's in the movie theaters now, but I'm talking about, like, the Broadway.
Theater, yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
You let me know. I'm a big Broadway guy. Love Broadway. But there was that, and I don't know. What was I saying? What was I talking about?
True
it literally
crime.
just went like an Etch-a-Sketch. Just
True
went,
crime.
yeah, I love those shows, and all of them. There's Crime Junkies. There's Count a Clock. There's
You know what show? You know what I loved was
dum dum boom boom boom.
no.
Boom.
The Chris Hansen to Catch a Predator. Remember that show?
Oh
To Catch
my
a Predator with Chris
God!
Hansen?
Can you imagine?
I loved.
I bet you
that
did. Yeah,
show.
you love that show because this guy he's sitting there. They were fucking freaks and trying to get kids.
But then Chris Hansen would come around the corner. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat right over
Right.
there? Have some sweet tea and cookies.
I'd be like,
And their faces would just drop.
right, because
like,
the level
oh,
of how
shit.
fucked you are right now. And
Yeah,
rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Well,
You're a gross person.
Saddens me is that they took the show off the air because one of these perpetrators killed himself.
Oh, heaven forbid.
Yeah, I know. God forbid.
We wouldn't want that to happen.
We'd be without a child predator in the
Ah,
world.
wow.
How tragic.
No, first of all, minor attracted individual.
Don't even get me started. Sick.
Yeah. I really, I listen.
Anyone defending this is just,
I don't know
they
what you're
need to
doing.
seek
I don't know
serious
what you're doing.
therapy.
Like, I say 21 is the age of consent, really, on women. I mean, I know we're playing around. 18, 16. No. Because I'll be honest with you, even at 21, I've seen y'all flip-flop. Right? So, then y'all probably, some of you shouldn't be making decisions at that age.
I
either.
cannot argue with that.
And even the younger generation now, I don't know what y'all gonna do. I know people who are almost 30 years old not moving out of their house yet.
Yeah, it's bad.
Can you
bad.
imagine, like, you get on board, you're like, all right, I'll do my best for the country. I'll have a couple kids just like my parents did. They'll be out by 18. Nope.
No.
A fucking decade and a half after.
Dwelling in the cellar till they're 30.
Not paying shit, stinking up the house. Just...
But there's just no sense of, where's the pride? Like, where's their sense of, kids don't even want to get their driver's license anymore. Remember us?
No.
We couldn't wait till the day we turned 16, get that
You were
learner's
down
permit.
there. You were down there.
Yeah.
You were waiting.
Not
You
anymore.
didn't care. No. I don't know. well, I don't have to drive. You can drive me.
Yeah,
Can
you
I?
can drive me. I can take an Uber.
Well, if I get my driver's license, can I have your car? No, you can't have my car. Get your own fucking car. I don't have a job. You starting to see how this pieces together?
But we have no one to blame
Oh.
but ourselves. We created this.
Well, we and then we. There's the we that, the parents that have just been easy on them. I don't want you to struggle like I had to struggle. Sometimes you struggle because you're stupid. But, right? The other part of it is that they're going to stay. They're not going to get... you're telling me you're going to start life at almost 30? At almost 30.
I already lived 3 lives by then.
Well, think about it. Even before us. What age do you think Grandma was out? Or great-grandma? She's 12. Right. She fucking got her first tooth. They're like, you got to find an apartment. But that's the other problem. They can't pay for apartments now.
Well, that's true, too. It's bad.
It's bad out there.
It blows my mind.
$3,000 for a fucking 2-bedroom?
My first apartment in Worcester was $450.
Right.
$450.
I remember paying
It was huge.
$850 for like a 4-bedroom palace house.
Yep.
It's crazy.
I am so glad I own my
A
house.
2-bedroom
Oh my
now is
God.
$2,800.
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
So I get that too. I get the struggle.
I get it. But
Where your inflation hasn't.
when they
it's
go
not
back,
matched up.
Graham out at 12.
Graham.
First, she had her first blood. She got to go.
Knock her up.
She's out of
She's
here.
gonna raise her children.
We're gonna, just so you know, honey, we met a real nice family up the street. They got a lot of cows need fending after, so you're gonna be part of their son Eustace is gonna be your husband, honey.
Eustace.
Yeah, those were the names back then: Eustace, Cletus, Zebekiah.
They're not Amish. These are Amish people.
Well, the Amish people, I think, got it right. Like, all right, let's get away from these fucking idiots.
They might
At
not
some
be,
point, they
yeah.
were kind of looking, going, you know what? I think I'm gonna grow my beard out.
We just ran into some Amish up in the Finger Lakes. Of
course
in,
you
in
did up there.
September. We're pulling out of a winery, all
They were saying that was a big bump in Trump's campaign. The Amish came out.
They did.
It's just like
I saw the photos. I was dying.
I've been on a carriage for 4 days to vote for that motherfucker. I don't want that Kamala Harris in there. She's talking about taxing beards. Bullshit. I don't know. That was crazy.
Oh, the Amish.
The Amish. Who don't love them though? How can you
Gotta
not
love the Amish. Did you ever watch that show? What was it? The
Marrying Amish? What was it?
Finding Amish or something Amish, where
Yeah.
they, when they got of age, they went and did their
Some
little,
people, yeah. It's up there, a little culty. Some of those
crazy.
Amish is culty.
Of course it is.
What do you mean? Of course it is. It could just be farmers. Look at that.
No, they're not
Here's
farmers.
Dale, I don't like electricity.
It's all that religion. That's that little
Yeah.
religious.
Everything's fine until you put religion in it.
Who are you talking to?
I mean, that's kind of how it goes.
Offend a whole lot of people here, but
Well,
yeah.
no, listen, it's not offensive. I mean, I think spirituality got hijacked by religion.
It 100% did.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I think we'd be much more spiritual beings if religion come in and tell you, no, this is what you're supposed to believe.
It's just fear. It's just putting fear into people to control them. That's all it is.
That hole's
Control
okay, that
behavior.
hole's not. Once again, we're talking a matter of inches. It's dark. I'm just trying to get something done real quick. Now, all of a sudden, I'm not going to hell. I've been a good man my whole life. Whole life.
You just blew it, pal.
That one night.
Going to hell.
That one night, and I hear, ow! Oh, Jesus! Now I'm done.
Oh,
so
Jesus
wrong.
can't help you now.
Even Jesus is there going, told you to put a light on. Told you to put a light on. You should have known when she said, ouch.
I can't.
Oh, God. But back then, I mean, good God. I wonder if they ever thought sex would... Well, even that back then, it was always still something, right? I mean, at least
far back we
in the
going?
shows... Well, I mean, go back to Game of Thrones. I mean, clearly that was a documentary. And
I didn't watch Game of Thrones.
you've never seen Game of
No,
Thrones?
I'm one of those people.
A lot of
you know,
sex
that-
in it. A lot of sex. Incredibly written. Incredibly well written. Just the whole storyline, the whole magical, weird world outside of our own... Well,
Which was in what time period? What was it?
It had
When
to
did
be-
it take place?
well, there's dragons. So what are you talking about? The Dark Ages?
Oh, okay.
Probably
okay.
that time
Yeah.
with sorcerers and witches
Yeah.
and merlins and dragons and that sort of stuff. People with, cloaks that don't close in front. Just junk hanging all over the place.
That's lovely.
Just elk underwear. Because that was the fashion back then.
Got myself an L.
See my Calvin Elks? Just stuff like that. I don't know. But good show. Yeah, so they drank wine back then too.
Of course they did.
That was it.
Wine's been around since Mesopotamia. That's where they think it began.
It's so funny. I was going to say Mesopotamia, and I have no idea what else I would say Mesopotamia because, like, where did that come up in history? I know we had to study it.
Oh, yeah, like the
Mesopotamia.
beginning of
That's like
time.
Scandinavia, which is now Norway, Sweden, and Denmark, I think.
Mesopotamia is that whole little, looks like a moon. It's that Middle Eastern, Iran, all that stuff over there.
We don't
Where
talk
they
about
believe
that.
it all began.
That's
Yep.
where they think it started, huh? Where do you think it started?
I wouldn't have a clue.
Rutland?
Rutland, Mass. Yes, the geographical
Fucking-
center of Massachusetts.
I swear to God, if
Rutland,
they
Mass.
found a Stonehenge out there, it wouldn't surprise me at all. They've been covering it up for years. Fucking Rutland is where it all
Something
started.
weird about that place. They get like a foot more snow than we do. Like it's
You think you
5
don't
miles
think you don't think
away.
I'm onto something here?
5 miles from my house. They
Five,
get-
yeah.
yeah.
Look at a blizzard. They'll be like, "Oh, it burned 7 feet." We're like, "Dusting." What are you talking about?
It's,
What's the? Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe we should look into it. Rutland.
I think there's something going on.
Rutland, the real deal. It's a new podcast.
Where it all began.
New podcast by design. Yeah. No. They do think it all started out there. What do you think about the pyramids?
I don't know. I really like it. How did that happen?
So I saw something that was really cool about the pyramids.
Really?
That the pyramids are actually, they vibrate.
They vibrate.
They vibrate a potential. So here's an aquatic engineer looked at the diagram of the chambers and how the chambers are built. And basically he said if you started rolling water, and so he created a mold of it. It was exactly the same. And he started rolling water through it. And when he did, the chamber vibrated. He's a Russian scientist. Russia has a bunch of these all over Russia. And they use them as actual healing centers because the healing frequency, the entire structure, because of the way the water moves, vibrates at whatever this frequency
that is so cool.
And that's what I said. I'm like, holy fucking shit. So what do you mean? Yeah.
Well, the peaks of the pyramids all line up with
the stars.
certain stars at certain times of the year, which I find very fast. Like that's not a mistake.
It's not. It's funny because I saw something about that said if you look back, you can tell about when they were created because of how the stars line up. And they thought it was like, I don't know, like 3,600 years ago or something like that.
amazing.
Now they believe that some guy decided to roll it back, and he found out that it looks more like 32,000 years ago.
Wow, that's something, huh?
That's crazy.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking way out there. Well, you wonder if that was because it's a desert. So was it always a desert? It couldn't have always been a desert.
I know, you have to wonder. I feel like life on this planet has evolved and then gone away, and then evolved and gone away, and evolved and gone away. And I think we're on the brink of
the
going
evolution
away.
of man, the evolution of man thing. You know how they start out like that? I think it's backwards.
Yeah.
I think pretty soon we're back over
Yeah.
between the phones and everything else.
I don't know. I think once a society gains so much technology and information, it just destroys itself. Like it's sometimes you need to be
Well, it thinks
protected.
it knows so
yeah,
much.
it knows so much.
It makes you
destroys
wonder
itself.
why they burnt the Library of Alexandria.
It's
Like someone burnt it. Someone
there's
said,
been
"Hey,
a lot of things destroyed.
you
that,
fucking people know too
yeah.
much."
Yeah,
I think that happens a lot.
I think so too.
I think as soon as we know too much, they hit the reset button.
Yep.
Could be the drones.
Yeah, here they
Could be the
come.
drones.
Watch out.
Oh, I
Here they
have
come.
no doubt that something fucking weird's gonna happen between now and his
I
inauguration.
find this 100. Yes, it scares me
because
I
they took it
don't-
too easy.
Yeah.
I'm watching now, and they're like, well, maybe like next time. No, a lot of you are going to jail. There's no way you're that calm.
I know.
I think a lot
It
of
is
you are
scary.
going to jail. Because, of course, the release of all the January 6 tapes, all the 40-something plus, then you find out there's 26 people from the FBI in the crowd, of which most of them were agitators. Dude, we put people away, and they're still in jail 5 years later. The shaman. Remember the guy that they called QAnon?
The shaman, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the guy who was stupid. They got videotapes of security guards walking him around.
I've seen them. Yep.
How do you put a man in jail after that? How do you even put him in jail?
Everything is
Because it
so
was so
corrupt. It's
crooked.
just
It's so
so
crooked.
corrupt.
And that's why we're not going to talk about my first wine.
Nice segue into the first wine. Yeah.
Because when all the world is fucked up,
This
The
is what you
only
do.
thing you need is a nice glass of
Would you
beautiful
do the
wine.
honors?
Yes, please. Although my arms are not nearly. And shouldn't hit the glass that much too. I could hear it. It sounds good though. Look at that! I got 3 little rings in there.
This is the. Oh yeah.
That's good luck right there. 3 little bubble rings.
This is the Super Tuscan.
This is my favorite $14 bottle.
I know. I have one of these from you. So
Yes,
I'm
I give that to everyone. I'm going to start telling people they're $50
and
bottles.
organic also.
Yes. Now, what does that mean?
Well, it's how it's grown. There's certain, or I'll tell you what, organic in Europe means a lot more than it does here.
Right.
But there's just a whole list of things that are prohibited to use in terms of growing in the vineyard and in the winery.
Insecticide and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Oof. Now, why
that's
miss
pretty.
them? Now, they always say that. I go to these wine tastings and like, if you need a spit up, it's right there. And I think, why the fuck would I do that? Unless it's terrible. There's a few rosés that have got me.
Yeah, you're not a rosé fan.
I'm not a rosé
No,
fan at all.
you're
I don't
not.
know why. I can't get a flavor for it.
I know. I
I
don't
like
know
a good
what.
Sauvignon Blanc.
Uh-huh.
I think I want to try the orange wine that you've talked about a few times. The oranges.
Man, when Lock 50 was open, they had a phenomenal
Wines,
orange wine from Greece. It was, and I don't remember what it was. It
So
was so good.
Yeah, that's another one. Another great restaurant. That
Place
just
was
went out,
great, yeah.
And then I mean, once again, not saying that there's anything wrong, but Via and 111 still kicking.
They're still kicking.
They're still killing it.
Yeah, this is really pretty.
It's always just so easy.
It's very easy.
And
to
it doesn't
drink.
matter
Yeah,
if I
it's-
just pop it or it's been out for a bit. The way it opens, it's just so good. Oh, and this is a Super Tuscan. By the name of it is Invetro?
in vitro. Yeah, this is
Invitro. Yeah.
this is I want to say 82%. No, that might be wrong. There's Sangiovese in here, Cabernet, and Merlot. I believe that is the
That's the makeup of the Super Tuscan.
blend of this particular one. Yeah.
And the reason it can't be called a Chianti is because it doesn't have enough.
No, because it has Cab and Merlot. Merlot.
Right.
Cab and Merlot in it. You can't have those in a Chianti.
At all. Okay. So
any
the other things that you can mix with a Chianti with
Yeah, that-
Sangiovese is what?
Indigenous grapes.
Has to be
but
indigenous
Yeah.
grape. Okay.
Yeah.
Is a Merlot grape not indigenous too? No.
No.
And Cab grapes are only or mostly California,
France, California. Cab grows a lot of Cab grows most everywhere.
It's a good grown grape.
It is. It's the most widely grown red grape in the world. Wine grape, that is. Yeah.
Okay.
But I believe it was indigenous to France. That's the main grape. One of the main grapes in Bordeaux.
Bordeaux's another great wine.
So good.
They are so good.
So good. Yep.
It's
Well,
amazing.
you like cabs, so and most they're cabs, Merlot.
What is the difference between a cat? Why do I not like Merlots?
I don't know. You tell me.
Do I not give them a chance? Is that what the problem is? I
Probably.
think I had a bad Merlot once, and I think
Or maybe
I
you saw the movie Sideways and you.
No,
you
it's
got
funny.
the
People,
Sideways
everybody
effect,
says
right?
that about Merlots because I went crazy. The other one I'm not that I get a big, and I've never gone back was a Rioja.
Rioja.
and
From Spain.
And I got like licorice. It was black licorice. That's all I could taste.
Really?
It was so bad. Might have been a shit Rioja.
It might have been. Or just the soil
Try it
growing.
again. Okay.
Yeah, try again. Go down to Bocado and you can do flights there. They have a lot of Riojas.
Yeah, they got a great Spanish wine
It's
selection.
fabulous.
I read
It's
it
really
though,
nice.
and I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Let's do a flight. It's nice. It's
Oh,
a good
I've
menu.
done flights there.
It's a
They're
great
very
menu.
good. I love
Yeah.
it down there. He
Yeah.
does a great job. They really do.
Yeah.
I'd
he
love to
does.
see more wine bars take off.
I know.
I want a
would
wine and cheese
too.
bar. I want a small little
Just-
wine and cheese
Worcester
bar.
doesn't. We just don't
We're
have
broke.
that. It's.
It's
Well,
getting. Well, you go
We
west.
don't have the palate either. I mean, like people.
You got to go west. You got to. I mean,
Go east,
You got to
yeah.
go east.
Yeah.
I thought about it. Maybe Westboro or.
It would do better in
Framingham.
Westboro. It would do better in the further east you go, the better it's gonna do. Yeah, which is sad. I mean, I'd love to see something like that here, but remember
I've
when?
always wanted
Remember
that.
they had the Citizen. Remember that was.
love that place,
I
yeah.
loved that place.
It was the only place to go grab a bottle of wine, a nice charcuterie board, and just
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah. Great vibe.
Yeah.
It was super cool vibe.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I
That
miss
whole building.
place.
Even
Yeah, the
Michael's.
building was
Michael's.
cool.
Yeah, because even Michael's Cigar Bar was
Oh,
a great
the
little
cigar
place.
bar was great. I
He
loved
had a
it
great
there.
great little gig down there. I loved
Yeah.
it. And it was just a nice, chill spot. I want something
Yeah.
like that. I really do.
I know. I would love.
I've thought
something
about,
like
you
that.
know, do a 2-tier where the cigar bar can be up on the second floor so all it can be vented out and a nice wine. I dream. Much like yourself, I dream.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that anywhere near here.
I don't know how you inject culture without showing it culture. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
And I don't know why.
right.
I really don't think wine and cheese shouldn't be considered culture. I mean, Christ's sakes, we've been making wine and cheese longer than we've been making Big Macs and fucking Pop-Tarts. But for Christ's sakes, you know, we fucking look at it that way. Like, oh, God, I can't.
I know.
Oh, my God, wine? You fucking drinking over there? Tito's and soda. I want to be thin. All right. You got purple teeth.
And
Well,
you
get bad
wonder why
breath.
I don't go out much in the city.
Come on. It's great. You and I would have a great time. We could just sit there and pick on other people.
It's true.
Who just want to give us shit.
True.
You got purple teeth. You get fucking gingivitis.
But
Shut the fuck up.
there's no the wine lists around here are lacking.
I'm
They're
telling you,
not
like,
great.
so when I go to dinner now, that's how I decide where I'm going. And if you ain't got it, I can't go. I have to like suck it up and be like, oh, I'll have a tap water. I will never have a tap water anywhere. I
I'll
go.
get a club
I'll
soda.
get I'll be. I don't know what's happening. Honestly, as I've gotten older, I'm just a bitch. I really don't know what's happened. Honest to God, I tell my son all the time. My youngest son, he and his partner just moved out to L.A. and he'll be like, "You're kind of a bitch, Dad." And I'm like, "Huh, fag." And he's like, "Shut up." And I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Why do you call me that?" He goes, "Because you are. You're bougie." And I'm like, "I'm not bougie." I'm like, "I like good wine. That's all. I work hard." He goes, "You don't work hard." I go, "Shut the fuck up. I think I do."
Nothing wrong with enjoying nice things.
And not even that. It's not
you know?
that and a nice. So have you ever had the Belvita cheese?
Yes,
Bellavitina
yes,
cheese.
I know exactly what you're talking
What
about.
an
yeah.
indulgent that is. That you just sit there with that on a night. You got the fucking, Netflix roaring. Whatever I haven't streamed this week, and I'm having a fucking good time.
I know. Not around here though. Get out, get your twisted tea and whatever.
That's my brother's favorite drink. He goes through like a 12-pack a day.
Oh.
Yeah, I know. I'd take out an insurance policy on him, but I don't think anybody fucking insure him at this point. I mean, I just did. And then it would look suspicious. They'd be like, "Did you kill him?" I'm like, "No, I just knew it was going to happen."
Sad.
It is. It's amazing some of the people that you see that, especially like them. Well, I don't know. I mean, do you know any like real winos that died? Like, if you're gonna die an alcoholic, I think
I don't know any winos that died from
the most
alcoholism from
sophisticated,
wine.
right? The
Right.
most sophisticated way to die is
Would
to
be
be a
with
wine. I'm not an alcoholic. I didn't die from alcoholism. I drink wine. That's what I would try to pull off there, but I don't think it's gonna work. But we'll find out. We'll find out. Let me know.
I will let
If
you know.
Yeah, when you get up there, because I think I go before you, but I haven't looked at the script, so I don't know. But yeah. So now you do so many of these wine tasting events, and I love them. You know I love them, and
Yeah.
you've had to put me in my corner because my friend and I get rambunctious.
You do have a good time.
We
That's
get
all right.
we get disruptive. We know we do, and we don't mean to, but her and I get laughing when we do it.
You do.
because it's the same. We like, oh, it's a Ritz cracker.
But now I learned.
You put us in
to
the
put
corner.
you in a
We just-
private table.
She just
over.
said that the last time to me. She goes, "You notice where we're sitting, right?" I go, "Oh, I notice where we're sitting."
Let you have your fun
Yeah.
while the rest of the.
Well, everybody else. Yeah, it is true because we've been to so many of them, so we don't know like the first part of it. We love it. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. I get that Ritz cracker. Oh, what a delight. I got my
The
Skittle.
palate cleanser.
Yeah, my Skittle, my grape, and we laugh back and forth. But to anyone who's ever not been, I don't know what you're waiting for. You should grab some friends and just try wine. Like everybody tells you, "I hate wine. I just hate it. I don't like it. It's gross." You might have to lose them as friends. You might have to. It's up to you individually. But
Well, I've had a lot of women come to my events and drag their husbands who don't like wine, and after the event, the husband's like, "Well, okay, It's not that they love it, but they don't hate it. They learned how to enjoy it.
if you learn how to enjoy it, it's a much better drink anyway.
I think so.
From a standpoint of the antioxidants alone.
oh, yeah.
That's not, but like beer makes you feel like shit.
Yeah.
When I'm
well,
drunk-
beer is more inflammatory than wine.
When I drink wine, I feel funny.
Yeah. Yes,
I
you
feel
do.
very funny.
Yes, you are.
I feel very calm. And that was the one thing I noticed is like, believe it or not, I've been drunk a time or two, and depending upon what you drink can dictate the night.
That's true.
And my life has
Yeah.
always been better a wine drunk than any of the the vodka where my knuckles are swollen, or the Jack Daniels where I can't quite understand why my jaw hurts. Any of the
Wine
other
hits
stuff.
different. Wine definitely hits
Yeah,
different.
you just kind of go, you know what? Fuck you, I'm just leaving.
But even that first sip, you just feel that liquid relaxation.
There's a calmness to it. There really
There is a calmness.
And not only that, the other thing that I think is amazing is how the first glass will not taste like the last glass.
Never. Nope.
And it will get better as time goes on, and depending upon what you're pairing it with, it's amazing. Like there's times now where I have a nice Malbec that went with a spicy dish, so you finish eating, then you take a sip of wine, and then my inside of my lips will burn.
Yeah.
Because it's hitting the spicy on my lip that I didn't even know was still there.
Yeah,
But
right,
then I'm like,
right. There it is.
That felt pretty good.
Still there.
That felt pretty good. That felt pretty good. I like it. So my next wine, as I told you, was a Malbec.
Yes.
So I shall, if you don't mind, miss. Now, I asked you about this one. Where does it come from?
This comes from the Uco Valley of Mendoza, Argentina, which is where... So Malbec is now Argentina's signature grape.
Okay.
Malbec actually originated in France, in the south of France. Can be found in small amounts in Bordeaux still, and then in a region called Cahors, Cahors. But when the French migrated to South America, they brought some of these Malbec vines with them, and they planted them on the very high altitude slopes in the mountains, and they grew better than they ever could have imagined. They grew superb there. So this is now, when you're getting a high quality Malbec, it's probably from Argentina, and in particular Mendoza.
I find it's funny now because Malbec to me seems to be that way of knowing if someone knows wines.
You think so? Yeah.
Well, when I ask somebody, I'm like, they'll be like, what's your favorite wine? I'm like, usually a Malbec. And they're like, if they go, oh, I'm like, why? What's yours? No, Pinot Noir. Zinfandel. I find that Zins, I like Zins, they're just so light. I find that a Zin flavor, and maybe I just haven't drank.
You haven't had, Zins are usually like 16% alcohol.
Are we talking like 7 deadly Zins?
Oh, that's cheap as hell.
is it
yeah,
bad?
yeah.
Okay.
That's a.
It's funny. I only
get a
went.
good one.
I
Like a
only
nice
went
old
good wines
wine.
on. It's funny. I only went good wines on Chiantis, Cabernets, and Malbecs. Is the only time I went like higher tier on.
Gotta get you a nice old vine Zinfandel from Lodi.
That's funny that you say that. The old vines. I
Yeah.
read a little bit about that.
Spectacular. Oh my gosh. I was out in Paso Robles, and I went to a winery. Gotta remember the name of it. And anyways, all they did was Zinfandel. They had old vines, they had new vines, and we did a flight of like 6 different Zinfandels from different parts of the vineyard, from different years. Oh, amazing. So good.
I was amazed when I first started tasting them because of the flavor profile of them. Because they just hit and they hit. You can taste more flavors. Like I got a lot of different like oak and not oak, but more
From
like
the
tobacco.
Zinfandel?
Yeah, no, from like a
From
Malbec.
Malbec.
Yeah. From a Zinfandel, I don't know what I ever got that I don't know.
You haven't had a good one. I
Maybe.
gotta give you a good one. Your whole world will change because they're phenomenal.
It's kind of like a redhead.
Yeah.
You haven't had a good one. You change your world.
Give one a try.
You're right.
But
Listen,
notice the color, Malbec. I can always tell a Malbec in the glass.
'cause
It's almost got like a magenta rim to it. It's got a little purpley note in there instead of that ruby.
It just seems so dark.
It's so pretty.
It is very pretty.
Yeah. It's got a nice body on it,
It
too.
does. See, that's the other thing too. When you talk about it, wine, you could talk about it like you're talking about a woman. You're like, oh, what a beautiful body on that.
Nice
Look
legs.
at the legs.
Right? Look at those legs.
Such a soulful sip.
Yeah, this is nice. And this is what, like a $25 bottle?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, that's my that's my step up Malbec. Because that's the other thing about Malbecs. They are relatively inexpensive.
Yes. Anything really in South America you can find less expensive than you would find here.
The only thing that's outrageously expensive that I find are Cabernets.
From
America.
From Napa, yeah, for sure. Well, America has some very expensive wines. France, of course, depending on the region.
But I find some really great Bordeaux and stuff like that aren't too expensive.
You can find some affordable Bordeaux's, yeah, but the big aged, the famous ones that you can age for a long time, they're
big
a lot
bucks,
of money. Yeah, but they're good.
Like the Le Duc Coupenoudu. Like I look at them, what are they? They got the Chateau. Like the funny thing that you don't realize when you first start looking at the French wines is like everything's a Chateau. It's everybody else.
domain.
Yeah, you got to find out the chateau. Whose chateau was it, asshat? Because they all have different names. Chateau du La Fouladou. And you got to go find.
A lot of them are, it's family tradition.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of
Oh,
them.
very big family winemaking, I think, in France when I think of that.
Absolutely,
That in
yeah.
Italy.
Yes,
I think like
yes.
Italy's old school, like,
Yep.
Papa's up in the morning, go get the grapes type shit,
Yep. Yep.
I think that's awesome. I love that stuff. I love thinking, I do have a fantasy that someday I'll just, I'm not going to probably I'll have a vineyard, not to make wine, but to just, someone else can take my grapes. I just want to walk around. I want to walk around with a glass of wine, pretending that I can't.
Do you know there are so many vineyards out there where they're just farmers? That's all they do is grow the grapes and they sell them off. They don't make wine. They grow them to sell them to people who will make wine. That's
just say, hey,
very
listen,
common.
Drop me a case.
You're right.
Drop me a case when you're done. You know what I mean, bro? It's either
That's the deal.
It's either that or I was making jams. All right, I don't look like a jam guy.
I don't think you're making
I don't
jams.
want to make jellies or jams. I don't want to deal with it. I'm sorry, it's too sticky. I just want my bees. I want my grapes, and I want to drink wine and walk around the vineyard as I'm older. I want to die like the guy in The Godfather. Like The Godfather, he's out fucking messing with his grandkids, picking tomatoes, and there he goes down in the fucking
Sounds good to me.
down in the cucumber patch. That's terrible.
Grapes hanging out.
He's got grapes hanging out. Oh, he had that orange wedge still in his mouth. You remember? You must have watched that show, right? The
A
Godfather.
million years ago.
Oh.
Yeah. Million.
What do you watch now? Do you have a show?
Oh, what am I watching now? A lot of shows. I'm trying to think of some of my. You know what's coming back? Reacher. Reacher's coming back in February. Did you see Reacher?
Jack Reacher. Is it Jack Reacher?
Yeah, no, Reacher with Alan Richson.
Okay.
Not Tom. I don't like Tom Cruise. Can't stand him. But Alan Richson is something.
Is it because he's in Scientology?
He's
a little whack.
He's nuts.
Yeah.
I don't like him.
I still remember the time he went crazy on Oprah's.
Jumping on the couch.
It was so weird. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you doing, dude? Like, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of cringy moments that when they do them too, you're like, oh. So all you've been showing me is his cool moments because this dude's kind of whack.
They
'Cause
are
when you
whacked,
saw
and
that
they're
was
just.
it.
I don't know if Hollywood makes you weird or if
I think it's a
Hollywood
combo.
attracts the weird.
I think it's a combo. I think
Can't
once,
wait to see Diddy go down.
Diddy's fucked.
Oh my god.
Jay-Z's fucked.
Yeah.
Do you know who else is on that list and whether or not she gets hit? You go to jail. You go to jail.
Oprah.
You
Yeah,
go to
I
jail.
know. I'm waiting for that too. Yeah,
I
want to see the House of Cards.
I
just
want to
come
know
crumbling
why
down.
there aren't where are all these people that are on those lists crying out saying, "Hey, listen, what you're talking about is not real. You're
Yeah.
making this up." It was
Yep.
just we just had the freak off was just us, having fun.
Yep. No denial.
And the funny part is they won't talk too much about the fact that it wasn't the sex that brought you down, idiots. It was the underage sex.
Right.
It was the sex trafficking that brought you
Right.
down. Like I go back to the Giselle, not Munchin, that's a different one. Was Giselle Maxwell,
Oh yes.
Epstein's chick?
Yes.
She's found guilty of sex trafficking. To who?
Right. Right.
Okay, you guys, you can't find
Right.
someone guilty. Once again, the left. They got no response to any of it.
No.
Hey, by the way, your people have been fucking kids. And they're like, well, define kids. Look over here. A man's a woman competing in
Look
sports.
at all these drones.
Yeah, look at the drones. Diddy don't mean nothing.
Release the drones.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's the funny thing when you see, that meme from the girl from Austin Powers. Release the house! She's doing the same thing. We're in trouble. Kamala lost. Release the drones!
We are living in crazy times.
We are. We're living.
Oh my God.
I think we just broke out of the 1984, what I thought was going to turn into 1984. The Orwellian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we just got out of that, but I could be wrong.
We're
We could be really wrong.
Yeah, we could be.
Because we got about 33 something million fucking people that came in this country for the past 4 years that we have no idea what they're here for. But you ask the left, they just want a good life, and we're not really letting
They're
people
dreamers,
in.
Chris. They're just
Yeah,
dreaming
they're
for
not
a better
dreamers.
life.
Honest to God. It's funny when fucking potheads will come up to you going, are you fucking all right, man? You're kind of stupid, man. Oh, don't you dare! Son of a bitch. Good vibes just took a dive.
I think we have our answer.
Right, we have our answer right there. It's if you notice, it's the only rainbow one I got. So I think they get that fucking. You're not gonna have our colors up there too, asshole. They took them right down. See, this is what we call online active cancellation. I killed my moon too. What happened? The moon's out.
These are hilarious.
It's a full moon. Yeah. I usually.
I didn't even
held
really
off.
look at these. I love the Grinch.
I held
the
off
Grinch
on the one you
hand.
were here for because I have a new one that says live nudes. That's going up there and I'm pictured down. There's a couple other ones. I got I got a pineapple I got to put up there, and I got a SpongeBob SquarePants.
These are
porthole window.
hilarious. I didn't even really look at these. Are the alien,
Yeah.
the Grinch.
That's marijuana.
That. Yep.
I know you don't know that. I got my
Of course
I love
know
wine.
that.
I got my I love
What do you
wine
think
sign.
I do now when I'm not drinking wine? It's
That's
edibles.
another thing.
All.
Can you imagine if you was a way to put the two of them together? You go, listen, here's what you're gonna want. You're gonna want a California Kush, a nice Malbec.
There is talk about that, about infused wine, cannabis infused wine. I don't know if it's available anywhere, but I've heard about it.
I think you're just playing with my emotions now.
Oh, I'm telling you.
I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. I think it would be fantastic. I don't know why it hasn't happened. Do you know what I mean? I mean, we've
Laws and
infused everything else.
regulations. Yeah.
I just.
I mean, you're talking
Can you
two
imagine what that
very
would kinda-
controlled things
Yeah.
that have to come together.
But what a nice little fucking buzz that could be.
Yeah, that could be cool.
That could work.
Yep.
That's like the dude who fell with his chocolate into that guy's peanut butter. That could be it right there. I'm thinking, right? All of a sudden, not only are you like, wow, that tastes delicious, but now I'm hungry.
Yeah, no, I'll have to do a little research on that and see. But that is, I have heard about this. I don't know if it's out there or not. I think it is.
Must be.
I really do, because there's, I still pour in stores
Mm-hmm.
for a couple different companies every now and then, and I feel like one of them was talking about promoting that in certain states. I'll look it up.
That's gotta be
Figure
great
it out.
shit.
Yeah,
It's gotta be good shit.
yeah. I don't have to carry around
Can you
my two
imagine
little
how fuck-
edibles
yeah,
and my
yeah, right.
plastic, my little plastic thing.
Oh my God. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. I thought you were carrying plutonium. The way you had that thing fucking sealed off.
My
It
little
was
bag.
I think it was a little bag. It was a little gummy. She's like, oh yeah, I get down. She's like, I get down. And she pulls out, she's like,
My
and
just
she
in case.
shows me this little gummy, and it's in this little tight case. And I was
Nice
like,
and
oh,
secure.
you're so cute.
Just to have an emergency situation.
I remember the first time I was using gummies and my parents were checking on me. No, I listen, I teach his own. I say, listen, not everybody's meant to be a space cadet like me. I tell people, I'm like, listen, I still want to do this one time with my instructors for Rascals. I want them to spend like just the 2 hours even before I go on, like just spend that with me and do exactly what I do. So you smoke what I smoke, you drink what I drink, and then we're gonna go.
There's no way.
I'm gonna film it. I'm gonna film it because this is gonna be a fucking shit show. I can already tell you one kid's not gonna make it. His hair's gonna just down he goes. I just can see him out. I can see him out now. Oh God, I don't know why though. I don't know why. For me, it's okay. It's not really. There are times I fuck up like uncontrollably. If I wasn't who I was, I couldn't get away with it.
It wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work. It absolutely wouldn't work because I just turn around and go, oh, that's not right. And not that any of you would know it because I'm the one teaching you, but whatever. I felt it my obligation to tell you I fucked that up completely. You're welcome. And they'll just look at me and they go, oh, thanks, Chris. Can't believe I paid $10 for this shit.
I know what you're talking about, though, because I remember when I used to teach cardio kickboxing, there would be sometimes I'd miss something, and they don't know.
They have no idea.
They're so worried about what they're doing, and
Yeah.
they don't know.
They don't care. They just want to be out and being
Have a good
active and having
time.
fun.
Yep,
And to
yep.
them, and they should feel good about it.
Absolutely.
Anytime that you're out interacting with other people, dancing, moving around, way better than sitting home watching your fucking
I agree.
abdomen get whacked.
Right.
Because it does. It just gets whacked after a while. Start looking at it. There used to be 6 of things down there. Now there's
See, that's
one.
another thing. Like, my standards have gotten so bad. Like, I can't entertain a dude that doesn't go to the gym. Like, my whole life. No. You don't work out. I don't want to be able to, like, beat you in arm wrestling. No.
Damn it.
I don't want to be able to deadlift. If I can deadlift a dude,
it's if I don't got enough things to worry about. I have to worry about whether or not women want to arm wrestle me before we go out.
If I
You
can
gotta be
deadlift
shit.
a guy, it's not going to work.
What
You
does that
gotta
mean
be-
if you can deadlift a guy? You've worked in a gym your whole life.
Yeah.
So you could probably deadlift most fucking men coming up nowadays. So you need a 6-something dude that you can bend. There you go.
I do like the gym bros.
Yeah,
I do. I like
the
the
gym
big.
bros, yeah.
I just like big. I like big.
And just like manly men. That's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The
Yep.
ones you got to kind of get restraining orders after because it could be dangerous.
Those are the ones. Just minus the restraining order part. Yeah.
Hopefully.
If that exists, I'm not sure.
Right, I don't know. I think it comes with them. I think some guys actually have them in their pocket when they start dating you.
Here's your copy.
They go, here, why don't you just keep this on the fridge?
Pre-signed by a
And when
judge.
this goes toxic, just enforce it. Because
it will go
I got a
toxic.
couple of buddies, and I every time they're like, yeah, she got. I go, what the fuck are you doing? Like that they have to go call the cops. You're like, oh, it's crazy. I go, well, no, we passed something somewhere. We had to have gone past a no-go sign.
People are so angry. Why is everybody so angry?
The
all
problem
the time?
is they just, even if they don't want to be wrong, and if they are wrong, they want you to burn in hell because they were wrong. And you're like, what? Listen, if we don't match, if we don't click, if we don't want to, that's fine. That's fine. We do not have to torch each other's fucking lives over it.
Right.
I mean,
Just part
honestly,
ways and move on.
If you've dated
Call it a
someone
day.
where the aftermath lasted longer than the fucking relationship, sit down with yourself and go, okay, clearly I'm not thinking correctly. Someone's making bad decisions for both of us. And I see it all the time. I see breakups that last longer than fucking actual dates did.
Can't let go.
No,
It's bad.
It's not even like go. You never were even in love. You're just now at that point where you realize
the
there's so many
toxicity,
swing and
right?
misses.
You can't let go of the toxicity. People are addicted to toxicity.
They're
I see
addicted
it
to drama.
all the time. All the time.
Cannot deal without it.
Yep.
And when you watch it, the second, and it's funny, as we get older, you see it immediately. You can see it in seconds.
Yep.
There's a, hey, how's you, because it only takes a couple of days because you're going back and forth. Hey, good morning, beautiful. How you doing? Oh, good to see you. Oh, I can't believe you texted me. Thank you. I love you. Okay. I reach you. Blah, blah, blah. Day 4, day 5. How's it going? Okay, a little tough. Blah, blah, blah. By day fucking 21, okay, 3 weeks. That's not long. I fucking hate my job. I fucking hate my family. I fucking hate everything. Well, maybe no. You gotta kind of figure out a new way of going. Oh, you don't think I know I need a new life? Fuck you. Now I'm the asshole. Now I'm the asshole, and I'm going. Oh, that only took 30. That only took 21 days.
Remember the comedian Richard Jenny? Do you remember him?
I do, actually,
Oh,
yeah, but
man.
not much of his
joke
stuff, yeah.
about putting down the card. You're on your first date and
Yeah.
you're playing poker and you're throwing down your cards and you're putting it all out there when
Yeah.
you're first. Yes.
Yeah.
If you're psycho, let me know.
Just tell me. Because chances are I like it anyway. But at least I know ahead
know
of
what to
time.
expect.
Right.
Let me prepare myself.
I don't want the head to and come back around in pea soup. You know what I mean? I
Right.
want to know up front, all right, you're going to get a little crazy.
Right.
All right. So I said hi to somebody, now you want to fight. All right. When we say you want to fight, what's that? Oh, you putting all your rings. Okay, now that's the next level I need to know. Are you a physical fucking fighter? 9 times out of 10 they are, because I'm smaller than most of them, so I don't understand. I have this thing I bring out in women, which is domestic abuse. I don't understand, it's the worst because I can. And I know I do it sometimes. If I know that we're arguing, I can get under your skin by just being a doofus. Like just being, oh, okay, like you're so smart and I'm stupid. That will get me punched. And I can do it all the time.
So that's you're that magnet. You attract the overbearing, dominating, angry, physical women.
Not all the time, but I
often.
mean, I feel attached to that comment. Right?
Did that really? You know?
Over dominating, I think in certain senses they are. Like when you said over dominating, I was like, well, they don't really tell me everything to do or whatever, but by their actions, they have a way of controlling how I act at times. So I've noticed that sort of stuff. That's the one thing that I always find that bothers me is when I start having to change the way I act because it triggers you in some form of way. And I'm like, well, what did I do differently when we met? And there was nothing different. It just, now all of a sudden, I'm a possession.
Right.
And once you become a possession to people, that's when it changes. And you never know when that changes in somebody. Sometimes you're never a possession in their life. You're just always a friend, or you're always like, I've been friend zoned too. I thought that there was somebody I was going to fall in love with. And I'm like, yeah, no, you're all right, Chris, but I can't. If I can body lift you, I can't date you. So that didn't work out. But she looked right at me. She goes, I can deadlift you. I'm all set. Like, oh, well, that's good. Well, what if I was ever hurt in a fire? Now what? I'm fucked. Now I don't have somebody who can take me out of a fire. Why do you think I was trying to date you? Anyway. So, but you find that like in after a while, you stop trying. You just stop. You're like, okay, all right, yeah, I'm a fucking asshole, I guess. I'm always the asshole. And that's the other thing too, is not being able to be upfront and honest with what you want to be. How do you want to do it? If you're a jealous person, just say you're a jealous person.
Yeah, right.
Because then no one's
It's
jealous.
coming out.
No one's a
Right.
jealous person when you start dating them. No
Yeah,
one.
notice that?
No one's
Yeah.
jealous, and no one's ever jealous. I'm never jealous. I have never been jealous a day in my life. And I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you think I'm gonna get jealous over you, I promise you I'm not. Fucking 3 weeks later. Who's this bitch? Who's what bitch? The one that said hi to you in Shaw's. The clerk? The greeter?
That is so true, though.
So bad.
It's so bad.
Yeah. Why are
It's
you
just-
gonna say hi to
You know what
everybody?
it is? There's just so much insecurity out there. Nobody's secure with themselves.
No. That's why you
just-
just don't give a fuck.
So,
What's meant to be will be.
yeah.
And stop it.
It's sad.
Most people manufacture the demises of their own relationships.
Oh, of course they do.
They always do, every time.
course
It's
they
never
do.
it's never a surprise. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, where's this coming from? Well, the past 6 months of you being a fucking total asshole. What do you think? I was really good yesterday. Remember, I did the dishes. Like, yeah. And then we only have half the set now because you broke the other half. Like, what the fuck? You really think you've taken steps?
Very
here?
becoming.
Yeah. It is. So we have one wine left.
Yes, we
And
do.
while we're doing this one, I do want to talk about what are the future plans for you now? What are you going to do? You really have, by the way, Wine Down events. If you've never been to any of them, shame on you. I promise you they are well worth it. You can get them most of the times if they're not going to be done at Rascals, which we will do another one, and we'll pick the wines together and do them. Definitely at Broken Creek. I do love Broken Creek. I love going out there. It's a very nice vibe.
It is.
You also do it at Hardwick.
I'm in Hardwick once
Yeah.
a month. I'm at Di Bavino Winery in Walpole once a month. I'm at the Little Shop of Olive Oils in Franklin once a month, which is really cool. They have this
bet.
great shop. We use all their products in the food pairings. It's really fun. Yeah. And then I'm sporadically, during the summer, I'm at Agronomy in Oakham.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'm up in the White Mountains once a year or so. Up at Seven Birches. They're fabulous up there.
Where's Seven
Yeah.
Birches?
Lincoln. It's
Okay.
in the Riverwalk at Loon.
Okay.
Yeah, wonderful. That's who I'm going to France with. That group.
All right.
Yeah, they're fabulous.
That is
So-
great.
And I do a lot of private stuff. I come to people's homes. I do corporate stuff.
That must be a good time
Oh, it's a blast. I love it.
to just come into somebody's
I
house with a bunch
love
of
it.
different. Yeah.
So much fun. It's in fact because then I only have maybe 12 people. I get to really
Have a good time.
Have a good
And
time
let
with-
them get loose. It's not like you're trying to control a group of kids.
right and the questions and the answers and it's a more intimate experience. That's really
It must
cool.
be a lot of fun. Yeah.
it's a lot
You
of
do
fun.
love it. I can tell you always do enjoy it.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I'm very blessed to have this opportunity to make money doing this.
Right.
It's yeah.
I say that all the time when I do it. But every time I make money, I'm like, oh my God. I can't imagine punching a clock.
Yeah, I can't. No, I'm so fortunate. I've been able to.
Hi, thank you
Make
for
this
calling
what it is.
Spectrum. My name's
Can you
Chris. How
imagine?
can I help you?
Absolutely not. No.
God, can you imagine?
I don't know what's next though. I don't know.
you
Right
think
now,
there's
I'm just
something next?
enjoying this. There's gonna have to be. There's
Yeah.
gonna have to be an evolution of some sort. I just don't. It'll come. Things come to me when they in time, at the right time when they're supposed to.
That's always how it's happened.
It's always opportunities when it's time for me to change lanes. It comes to me. I just kick back and wait for it. It's really funny how that happens.
I've gotten to that point now in life where I just realize I'm not in the driver's seat.
yeah.
To a certain
Yep,
point,
Yep.
I'm navigating-ish, but I'm not in the driver's seat.
Yep.
And typically, if I fight the change in direction, it'll get slapped out of me real quick.
I say that all the
I've
time.
lost things. I've had like dramatic left-hand turns or right-hand turns in life that just came out of just me not paying attention to the fact that it was time for me to move on for certain things.
I always say that if I don't make a change that I'm supposed to make, the universe is going to do it for me.
Yep.
Whether I like it or not, it's going to happen.
I say the expression to people, I go, God will continue to slam a door in your face louder and louder and louder until you understand it. I usually mean it when I'm talking to people with relationships. I'll be like, oh, okay, so you just broke up. Oh, okay, so this time he threw you out. Oh, okay, so this time he put hands on you. Oh, okay, so this time you get a restraining order.
Yeah.
How much louder do you need the door shut?
Right.
Before
right.
you realize
Well,
it's,
you're
it's
gonna
over.
keep you're gonna keep getting the same lessons in life thrown at you until you learn them.
Yes.
People, so with relationships, people, why do I keep attracting the same type of guy, the same type of girl? Because you're not learning your lesson.
Because you keep going after the same guy.
Learn the lesson and move on, and you won't have to worry about that ever again.
Because you're like me, you walk into a club and go, ooh, that looks like trouble. Hi!
Hey, what's your
Pleasure
name?
to meet you. Can I buy you a glass? Can I buy you a glass of something that's going to cost me thousands and thousands of dollars in the long run?
One glass of wine turns into many thousands and lots
Well,
of tears.
Listen, if it's a good conversation after a glass of wine, it can continue. If it's not, if the glass of wine is better than the conversation,
Time to move on.
then I'm corking the bottle and taking that home.
So this is, the Amici Napa
Oh,
Cab.
so good. So
You know what?
good.
Amici in Italian means friends.
Yes.
That's the translation.
So there you go, Amici. So
The Di Bovino Winery in Walpole, one of their wines is called Amici, and it's for that reason. It's
it just means friends. It's
yeah.
It's how you get away with that. How do you get away with having multiple?
Well, that's the vineyard's name. That's
Okay.
the estate. That's just the wine, their wine brand under.
under whatever the big one is. Let's see, cellared and bottled by Amici Cellars, American Canyon. Napa
Amici
County.
Cellars, yes, that's the name of their property, but Di Bovino, just naming their wine
Yeah.
Amici, it's totally different.
And so they make it. So they have their. Oh, yeah. So they're making their. The brand of the wine.
It's the
Right. It's
name
just
of
that
one
one-
of their wines. Their
Yes,
wine,
I
yes,
gotcha.
their blend, yeah. They bring their grapes in from Susan Valley, which is right next to Napa.
Do you think California will continue to grow with vineyards?
No,
No, as it's saturated.
they're ripping them up.
Let's go get one.
Starting, I know, right?
Let's go
Maybe
get
we
one
can
real
get
quick.
one
Yeah, real cheap.
relatively cheap. But they're starting to tear them up,
And if they don't
that's-
like us, we just walk around with some matches.
it's heartbreaking.
Yeah. How much do you think this place would be worth? If I strike this match.
Seriously,
It is heartbreaking though.
From what I've read too, I believe France, the same thing is happening. Their sales are just dropping. Wine consumption is just dropping. It's not in demand like it once was. So where do we go? Like, what do we do?
So what has
happens?
picked its place up? Are we saying that? I see.
In the alcohol industry alone, a lot of the first of all, a lot of non-alcoholic. I've never seen so many de-alcoholized wines in my life. There's a ton of them right now. The ready-to-drink cocktails, the seltzers, all that stuff has really in the past 5 years
I wonder if the
or so-
overall global market though itself is this wokeism that all of a sudden well, if they realize, you know what, alcohol is not good for you. You know what I mean? It's not great.
That's true too. I think there's the new generation is coming up with a
They're a
lot
lot more
more
health
health
conscious,
conscious. Yeah. Yeah.
And by now, at least one in every three of them has had an alcoholic parent.
Yeah.
You know what I
that's-
mean? Or had
yeah.
alcohol affect their family in one way or another.
Yeah. And then, Gen X, like here we are, as we're getting into middle age, we're all starting to see, okay, as we get old, especially women at this age, we don't handle alcohol. Our bodies don't process it the way it once did, which is why I've cut back to almost nothing because my body just says, sorry, I'm not happy. So we're losing money in Gen X. We're losing money with no new drinkers. Things are shifting.
Yeah.
So where do we go? It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it
Very
will be because as a bar owner, it does concern me. I don't have much of a music crowd under the age of probably 30.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's another thing, right? Like
They
live
never-
music is dying out.
Like you wouldn't
compared
believe.
to when we were like in our 20s, that was what you did.
Yeah. You just all you were deciding was if you were going downtown to start or Park Ave to start.
Yeah.
And then you decided whichever one wasn't bumping, you went to the other.
Right. And it's
And you'd
it's
follow
different
friends
now.
all night.
No, it's weird.
It is weird.
It's very weird. So
Now
it'll
let's be inside and we'll video chat each other on whatever fucking thing and
that's what it is, right? But you know what? It's also I've lived a million lives and I've had a bunch of different careers. I can fall back on them at any time.
I'm actually surprised. Like maybe even something down the line where you you get little packs and you mail them out, and you can all do them from the privacy of your own home. We call it
I did that during COVID.
Did you?
That's how I kept my events going. I had big corporations would hire me and do Zooms, and we'd get wine sent out to them. And
that's cool.
That helped a lot during COVID.
And in your package is this vibrating little. This is for those of you that didn't like wine.
Little something for everybody.
Little something for everybody. We've got chocolate. We have wine. We have vibrators. Speaking of, we just did our what was it yesterday? The your grandmother's naughty list bingo.
Oh, I saw that. Oh my God.
So funny, so funny. But that you want to know? There's an industry that's growing.
That's an industry that's recession proof. That'll never stop.
Recession proof.
Right?
It is recession proof.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's just getting cheaper and cheaper to make the stuff because there's no regulations in it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you just hope you don't get something bad. You know what I mean?
Dangerous.
Right, dangerous. Next thing you know.
Sparks.
Right, yeah. So I was like, whoa, holy shit.
I'm on fire.
That's not going to look right after that. That's not going to look right after that.
Not good.
It's not good, Jimmy. It's not good. Why didn't I just take the guy home that I could bench press?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Not interested.
Sorry, sir. Why not? Because I can fire him and carry you.
Oh, it's not. I'm sorry. It's not attractive. I like strength. I like,
You don't have to explain this. I get it. You're a powerful young lady. I've heard you in a room.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not.
You sound like a football
sounds.
coach. You sound like a football coach.
No,
You're ready.
I gotta project
It was
my
good.
voice. I'm in front of 50-something people. I want their attention. I'm gonna get it.
I know. I remember the first time I offered you like a headset and stuff. You're like, nah.
I don't need that.
I don't want that.
I do use it when I'm over 50 people. I do use them because there's no reason to stress all this
You'd be
out.
feeling
You know.
like shit later.
Yeah. It
That's
hurts.
That's an herbal tea with some honey later. Mm-hmm. But God, yeah. Good stuff.
This cab is excellent.
I love this one.
It's really good.
This is my celebratory.
It's super drinkable too. Like it doesn't need to rest. It doesn't.
No,
need to
you can
up.
open it. You can open it and just start drinking it.
Yeah.
The funny part is though, by the time that it does open, all of those flavors are just a little bit.
Yeah, integrated.
It's funny. I tried to describe it to somebody. I said, like, when you first taste it, it just almost seems like the flavor just isn't really that great. It's not pronounced. It's almost like you can taste it, but it feels like condensed. And then as it opens, it's almost like there's more and more.
Yeah, that's what I meant about wine continually evolving. Even
Yeah.
in the glass,
Yeah.
it changes.
So any recommendations for anybody out there right now looking for that last minute Christmas gift?
Oh, head to your local winery. Oh my God, support local.
Yeah.
Support local, absolutely. Or
Go
get them
online,
tickets.
yeah.
Go online. Get tickets to one of my events in January.
Oh my God, you got a
Doing
bunch.
some
Yeah,
fun
I'm
stuff.
going to the cheese one. I already
Oh,
set
are
up the
you?
cheese
Oh,
one. Yeah. I bought him the night.
awesome.
I bought him the night of the cookie
That's
one.
right. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So see, you
Oh,
get
God.
Chris
I
and
just
Missa.
want to. Oh, I can't talk though. I'm not allowed to talk as much. Missa gives me the evil eye, and I'm very afraid of her. So we're good. I do love it that way. You're the only one. You're like one of those teachers that I would have liked. You put me in my place. You're like, okay, Chris, shut the fuck up now. Okay.
I love you to death, but I'm gonna put
Miss Capozzo. Okay.
put my fist down. Yeah.
Okay, Miss.
Yeah.
Okay, Miss. I'm sorry. I'll stay after if you need me to. Oh, but it has been a blast having you on here, and I do hope that our friends get to see us at one of your wind down events. I know that I promised I want to have a few more at Rascals.
Yeah,
once
we
I
will
get-
do that.
I get some stuff where it seems like it's more conducive, where it works.
Yeah.
As opposed to the shit shows I gave you before. Put her over in the corner, and the next thing I know, I start line dance lessons, and I'm being funny, and the people aren't listening.
And
I know,
I'm
it's not your fault.
screaming at the top of my lungs,
Yeah.
trying to get my people to hear me. Yeah.
And she just like Christopher.
We're gonna make it work.
We're gonna make it
We'll
work.
make it work. Yeah.
But wind down events, they can find you on Facebook,
Yep. On Facebook.
Instagram?
Instagram, I'm Missa Knows Wine.
Missa Knows Wine, and that's for like your exploitations as yourself, as your own sommelier, traveling in all the wonderful places like the Finger Lakes.
Like the
People
Finger
can find
Lakes,
how
yeah.
the Finger Lakes went.
You'll get some pictures of my dog sprinkled in there.
Oh God,
Peyton's gonna make her appearance.
Peyton, yeah, by the Christmas tree, just kind of. She's just. I said, what was one the other day? Just tree standing around.
No, that was a Hallmark card.
It was a Hallmark.
Yeah,
That's
it was
cute.
beautiful.
I know you.
She's perfect.
You get all fucking misty eyed when
I
you talk
love
about
her
it.
so much. Yeah.
So look her up, check her out. Wind down events. You know, you'll see me at one of those events. I love them there all the time. My favorite, and I tell everybody I have my own sommelier because I tell people that I know you. And I'm like, she'll tell me if it's shit or not. So thank you so much, Miss. I
Thank
appreciate you coming on.
you. Yeah.
I hope to see you. Of course, I'll see you soon. And
course.
I hope the people out there, when you see her, tell her you saw her on the podcast. It'll blow her fucking mind because she doesn't think anybody's watching this thing. And that's going to do it. From the basement of 70 James Street, I am Chris Goodney. As always, blessed to have any of you give a shit of what I got to say. I love you all very much. God bless, take care, and be yourselves.